for the first time in 10 years, going to the playoffs. It's actually happening. Well, it all started in Chicago. On a somewhat chilly day in March, the Tigers went to 1-0, and boy, everything felt great. Then the Tigers went to 5-0, and everything felt even better. Then they were 55-63, and that's why they made the phrase, got them right where we want them, because the Tigers, they let them get hot, and it happened, and the Tigers are going to the playoffs. This is game 162. Tigers baseball one last time, presented by Feiger Law for the 2024 season. It is the last day of summer camp. We all made popsicle stick birdhouses. Jason Benetti, Andy Dirks, Dan Petrie, Johnny Kane is downstairs. It's an interesting day because this Tigers team is moving forward. We're saying farewell in our final 2024 telecast, but I think there's this joy radiating off of everybody that makes us feel like we feel like we're going to go do 20 more games together.
No, and I just enjoyed walking through the clubhouse today and just giving everybody a little handshake, a little bit of knuckles, just saying, hey, best of luck and keep it going. And you can tell by the look on their face they're ready to continue this journey.
They're excited. The fans are excited. We're excited because this doesn't end it. You know, for the last 9 years, Game 162 was the defining moment, the end of the season. Not this year. Extra baseball, playoff baseball, fired up for it.
What else do you all want to cover before we go to first pitch?
Dan, what do you got?
Well, you know what? I just think that these guys, they're not satisfied one bit by just the fact that they qualified for the playoffs. They want to continue this run going. And I just look back at last year and just look at the Texas Rangers and the Arizona Diamondbacks and just look at the path that they had to cover to get to that World Series, eventually won by the Texas Rangers. If you go back and look at that and look for similarities between those seasons and the ones that the Tigers had up until this point, you know that the Tigers are very much alive and can't wait for them to see if they can win the last game they play.
How do you stay in the pocket that you were in to the postseason from the regular season?
As far as momentum?
Well,
like
I just think
keep the energy going.
Just day to day.
It goes by the work. The work these guys put in behind the scenes is what matters. This team from day one of A.J. Hinch coming into this organization said, we're going to work hard off the field. We're going to prepare better than anybody. We're going to take extra reps at batting practice. We're going to get our bullpens done on time. Everything we do has a reason and a purpose. Now, going to the postseason, the key for them is to continue their routines. Stretch out the hammies, get the arms loose. But with all the media attention and everything that surrounds the postseason, it's easy to get off of your bases to where it's like, hey, they want to interview you this time. Now you have to run over here. That guy right there is going to make sure these guys are protected as possible going into the postseason, and he's done that all year. He protects his players. He gives them the space they need to prepare to perform.
Oh, here we go. Final game of the regular season. Today is a little bit about looking back as well as to how this magical run that's both finishing in the regular season and just starting coming up on Tuesday happened. That's one more thing. A bit of a retrospective to enjoy. Next. The bank can be come to Comerica. By Wallside Windows, 80 months, no interest, plus half off every window at wallside.com. By Feiger Law, all we do is win. And by GMC, visit your closest GMC dealer today for exceptional offers. I'm laughing because when I did the Feiger Law read there, Dan Petrie gave me a signal out the window like he was conducting the orchestra. Game 162 here at Comerica Park, and so many moments to relive through 162 ball games. Our one more thing is tough to consolidate to one, so it's a number of more things that we all experience together in this Tigers journey in 2024.
On my back from her nails and teeth. Look out, she's never been the kind of hit and run, but baby can't see, put the headlights on. hands and she started to say, good God.
The party continues. Tigers are 6-1. Strikeout number 12 at 99.
Fly ball to left.
Wow.
Oh, man. Matt Vierling.
101. That was a real angry Scooble. Meadows is there.
And gone.
We're going to get younger. We're also going to get better.
Oh my goodness! Parker Meadows did it! Brilliance from Montero. Safe! He karate kicked the dish.
Caught by Sweeney. What a play.
Somebody alert NASA! Vierling racing home. The Tigers will not stop. Perez got it!
Tigers are back in the postseason.
A city that doesn't care about the odds has a baseball team to match.
Remember I asked you, what kind of team do you want to be? I guess you wanted to be a playoff team.
Guess they did. Guess they want to be a playoff team, boys.
Enough said. Actions speak louder than words. When you make the playoffs, that makes you a playoff team, baby.
Just wow. And look at all the growth of so many players in that video that started off a certain way and now are champions.
I just cannot fathom how all of these players who are just about to a man on the field right now, and they are under 30, they are double the age of the kids that are wearing the Kids Take the Field shirt, but it's not by much.
No, these kids are 8 years younger than some of these guys. 8 years, and they will be the same age. It's amazing.
It is a beautiful thing. There is something about this sport specifically and youth.
Well, that's why none of the, Baltimore and Houston don't want to play the Tigers, because some of those guys are over 30, and that's like, Petrie, when you have your grandkids over the house, they wear you out. This team will absolutely wear out an older team.
These are the grandkids, you're saying?
The Tigers. It's like having the grandkids over for an extended stay, and by the end, you're like, good grief.
Somebody else take them.
Please, go over to Cleveland. Go to New York. We just need you out of our house, and we need you out now.
That's unpredictability. It is, you don't know what to expect from the grandkids. You don't know what to expect from these Tigers, and you can't plan for it.
That's it, man. The Tigers are the grandkids. And everybody's like, yeah, it's fun for like 3-4 innings.
Yeah. Then all of a sudden there's a sucker underneath your bed. The dog ate 4 boxes of crayons, throwing up over here. You're like, what is going on right now? That's what happens when these Tigers come into somebody's city. You saw it in Kansas City. You saw it in Baltimore. They're like, please leave.
Grandpa AJ.
Yeah.
It's it, though. That's what they are. They're the grandkids. They start drawing on the walls.
Oh, the walls.
Of somebody's bullpen.
The walls are so drawn on in the bullpen.
Oh, my goodness.
Candy
gracious.
everywhere, Skittles.
This is why you stick around for the last game of the season. Starting pitcher presented by Wallside Windows. It's the elder statesman, Kenta Maeda.
And Kenta is making his first start since July 9th and first appearance since September 20th in Baltimore.
This is not going to be the last first pitch swing by the White Sox today. I'm going to go out on a limb. It's popped up, and it is Koltke to make the catch on Miguel Vargas. The biggest challenge for the play-by-play announcer today is making sure that you get all the names in when they swing at the first pitch. White Sox batting order presented by your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Just take care of it. It's Vargas, Robert, Deloach, Vaughn, Sosa, Ramos, Lee, Fletcher, and Amaya. So if they swing at the first pitch and I don't get their name then, we just got them all right now.
You covered your bases.
Yep. One down, Luis Robert Jr., who was out with hip discomfort. the first two games. There's a first pitch swing. It is strike one. Kenta Maeda could go 27 for 27 in first pitch strikes.
You know, it's going to be interesting. That last outing he had in Baltimore, remember his velocity was up about 2.5 miles an hour. That fastball was cruising at 93.5 miles an hour, as well as all his other pitches. So it's going to be interesting to watch just if he can carry that again and possibly be a valuable guy out of a bullpen if he can show that velocity on all of his pitches again like he had 10 days ago.
0-2 from Maeda. And he struck him out. Robert goes down off that splitter that Kenta Maeda has become known for over his career.
Yeah, and there again, it's just one of those 86 miles an hour, and it comes out looking like that fastball, and the bottom drops out of it. So just with that increased velocity on the fastball, you're sped up just ever so slightly, and then that one looks exactly like the fastball. Well done.
Here are the stakes, by the way, if you've just joined us. If the Tigers win, they're going to Baltimore. If the Tigers lose and Kansas City loses, the Tigers are going to Baltimore. If the Tigers lose and Kansas City beats Atlanta, the Tigers will go to Houston. So more than likely, the Tigers will be heading to Baltimore once again. However, strange things have happened in this sport, as you may have heard over the course of the last same month. Hey, look, a pitch taken. 1-1 on Zach DeLoach.
What's the over on pitches taken? 8.
It's I might take the points there, but not by much. 1-1 on DeLoach. It's a tapper, and it's going to be Jake Rogers who waves for it, and that means the White Sox are in fact double parked. No score after a half inning. The history is all over this ballpark of what championship teams mean to Tiger fans, and we are hopeful that another one might be right in front of us right now. That will depend on so many things in the postseason, but for now, the Tigers once again control their destiny of where they're headed. A win means Baltimore. Tigers batting order presented by your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. This is career postseason games played. There is one guy in the lineup today who's ever been to the postseason.
And that will all change on Tuesday.
It will.
And it'll change in dramatic fashion.
And that lineup right there, that's almost your opening day lineup if you're looking at it.
Yeah. Parker Meadows swings at the first pitch and pops it foul. Strike one.
Opening day, I mean
for the
wild
card.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It is a new season. I mean, we will talk about it basically as though it's a new season. You got here through the winds of the power of belief, as this is in the air left field. DeLoach on the move to the line, and he makes the catch for round number 1.
Yeah, the beauty of the postseason is it doesn't matter if you won 100 games or if you won 88 games. Everybody's on a clean slate. Short series, 3-game series to start with, 5-game series, a couple 7-game series, and you can win a World Series. It's a lot of series.
It is.
That's a series of events.
Lots of celebrations along in those series also. So
I don't know that we can take another celebration like Friday night. Gary Carpenter waxes a ball foul, first base side, 0-1. So the bracket as it stands right now, you know, if you end up in the 4-5 game, you play the Baltimore Orioles and then you play the Yankees. It's not a reseed situation. So if you do end up in the 3-6, the one saving grace is that you would hypothetically dodge the Yankees until the championship series.
But if the goal is to win the World Series, you're going to have to beat the best teams at some point. So I think AJ kind of was saying it today in the pregame, like who we play, it doesn't matter. As if you're not ready for anybody can whip you on any given day. So it doesn't matter if you're facing the Yankees or Cleveland. You prepare the same way. The roster might look a little different depending on, strengths of different teams. But you still have to prepare and be ready to play some baseball and play really good baseball.
Strike 3, Cannon, who the Tigers pounced on through no more than 3 outs back in June, has 2 quick outs here in the first.
You know what I like when we look at that bracket too is a couple things jump out, just how there's some new teams and it's refreshing. You know, the Tigers, the Royals, Yankees are making a return trip. They didn't make it last year.
You're the only person in America who said it's refreshing that the Yankees are back in the playoffs.
Yeah. Well, I meant just seeing new teams.
Different teams.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
No, it's just and the terrible American League Central's got 3 teams out of them.
Isn't that
out of the
amazing?
6. The terrible Central. Look at them.
Veerling with a pop-up into short right center field. Robert is over, and that ball is eventually caught. Dan Petrie, when Duke misses the NCAA tournament, says, I can't wait until the next time.
Memories are made here at Comerica Park. Don't miss your last chance to place a 2025 group deposit to get 2 tickets to Fan Appreciation Weekend and 2025 Opening Weekend. Visit tigers.com/groups for more information and to place your 2025 deposit.
We thought that it was going to be like, you know what? If we just had one more month left in this year, I know I'm not the only person that thought that. I've heard other people say it. Like, there's a check swing and no go 1-1. There was a time where, hey, if the Tigers just didn't make it, if you could just extend it one more month, they definitely would have made it. There was enough runway. There was enough runway to make this thing go and get excited about 25 while 24 still goes on.
Yeah, I mean, they hit the landing gear on the mountain on the way up, though, because they did what they needed to do in a very short period. They had a strong breeze they were headed up into, got the lift off quickly. A little more runway would have maybe been a little nicer, but wouldn't have been as exciting.
Yeah.
So this made it much more exciting.
You know, Tarek Skubal was not happy that he didn't personally lose, but the team lost a couple of his starts down the stretch, right? You know he is so absolutely amped for Tuesday to be that front of the line guy dating back to opening day for this team. I'm so excited to see what that looks like.
And he's one of the guys kind of leading the charge about, you know, hey, a Cy Young Award would mean a lot to me, obviously, but I'd trade it away in a heartbeat for a World Series ring. And you love to hear that kind of stuff coming from your team.
Puck foul. Rogers behind the plate. He has room.
Nice play, Jake. You know Jake can scamper. He can go around the bases. He can also get to the backstop in a hurry. That's just textbook. Has the mask, throws the mask away, secures it. And he's like, who's the showest of show ponies today? He did it for the pony.
One down for Lenine Sosa, who attacks the first pitch.
You were on cue with saying they're going to be coming out swinging.
Well, I'm not exactly Encyclopedia Brown here. They're 40 and 121, and they have an airplane taking them home. Let's be honest. Did you ever have one of those games in the minors where, like, last day of the year, you all use the same bat?
Yeah, we have days where you get fined if you go to a 3-ball count.
Yeah.
The last day of spring training,
Yeah.
same way.
Yeah.
Get in there, get to swinging. Pitchers know the drill. Hitters should know the drill.
So, look, we have a bowl in front of each of us. And it is because today is the birthday of one of our favorite people. Oh, wait. I'm told, no, it's Ben Fiddleman's birthday.
Oh, yeah.
I'm told,
Ben,
sorry about
this
that.
is
Yeah,
Ben.
I'm sorry, that beginning of that sentence.
Oh,
erroneous.
Ben.
What? 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Wash that down a little bit.
Incoming text message. No, Ben is a marvelous guy.
Yeah.
He works his tail off. He sacrifices so much to be here with the Tigers and the Red Wings. An extremely thoughtful guy. As this pitch is in the air, left field and down for a base hit. You may know Ben from his seat next to A.J. Hinch during the managerial scrums, or his friends from high school and growing up tweeting at me snarky things about Ben. But he is a great guy. We are better for having him here. And, Ben Fiddleman we're talking about. I'm told yet again. No, he's phenomenal. So happy birthday, Ben. Happy
Enjoy
birthday.
your day and the upcoming series against whoever it may be.
There's nothing that Ben loves more, and I think Peter Warden, the team travel director, is in this same category. Nothing they love more than packing for a road trip where they don't know where they're going.
That is always fun. It's like, should I take the sweater or the shorts? I don't know.
Have you seen Peter, too? I mean, trying to make hotel reservations in 2 different cities and arranged for transportation in 2 different cities. And I mean, think about the endless list that he's got to deal with.
He is phenomenal at his job as well, but he is there are sparks flying off his phone right now.
Oh,
I'll tell you
man.
that much.
That's one of those jobs too. If everything goes good, you get no thank you. But if one room isn't booked correctly, oh, you're hearing about it.
Especially if it's Andy Dirks' room.
Oh yeah. If it's Andy Dirks' room, that thing, you got to have the turn down service and the mint.
Okay.
I like the hotels that have the robe and the slippers too.
You do?
Yeah.
No follow-ups, please. The 1-2 is off the plate outside. 2-2. No, I will say, just as an overarching point, it takes a village to get a team into the postseason, and to everybody with the Tigers that has made everything easier on the players and has really pushed forward on this. Congratulations. 2-2, popped up foul.
So they just keep getting under the ball, under the ball, under the ball. Here it'd be ideal to try to work for a ground ball. Kent is traditionally a fly ball pitcher, but you can see with the slider kind of left it out over the plate a little bit. Needs to get the splitty down, try to induce a ground ball, maybe run that heater in.
This is right behind second base, and that's going to fall in. It's a base hit, 2 on for the White Sox on similarly hit baseballs.
Yeah, and that's just to get it off the end of the bat. Anything up in the air has a chance, especially when you get it off the end of the bat a little bit. It's one of them dying ducks up here, but you see that slider kind of spins, and these guys want to launch the ball. It's the last day of the season. They're trying to get one more home run on that statistic card. So got to work the ball down. He likes to work the fastball up. Splitty down has been a good combo. Slider away. But you got to stay out of the middle of the plate right there. You see how everybody's under the ball, under the ball?
Yeah, there's a few of them that are left up, but some of those, the last 2 base hits too. That one, they're off the end of the bat, but they're just up enough where the hitters can just poke them out into short outfield.
That's a strike, tickling the outside corner.
I know Dan liked that pitch.
That was all no doubt about it. That's a strike all day long.
Is a spotted fastball your favorite pitch?
Especially that one that swings back a little bit.
Up the middle into center field, a 2-strike base hit. The White Sox have taken the lead 1-0 on an RBI single from Corey Lee.
Yeah, this one here looks like, again, it's just going to catch too much of that plate. You see, that was just the pitch before was the pitch that was on the outside part of the plate. That one starts on the outside part of the plate, just working its way back and just stays right there in the middle, and Corey Lee's able to hammer that into center field.
I think Jake kind of realized that they were getting the ball in the air, in the air, in the air. He wanted to work sinker, try to keep it on the ground for a double play. Guy just hit it too hard up the middle.
So Lee's RBI single. Now Fletcher, the batter. And a first pitch called low, 1-0. And the Royals have taken a 3-0 lead in the first inning. So Kansas City leading, and the White Sox are leading on a Michael Massey 3-run homer. That would put the Tigers in Houston, at least for the time being.
I can't imagine Jonathan Cannon holding down this Tigers offense for a lot of innings.
Well, that's
so
what
if Kenta can keep it to three runs, somewhere in there, then the offense could come out, get some pressure on. They haven't had much pressure on yet.
Yeah,
that's kind of going to be step number 1. Get a little pressure on Cannon.
And if you can get into the bullpen, we've talked about the White Sox bullpen has not had a great year.
Which yesterday they actually threw really good. That was some of their better bullpen guys that we'll see. But
2-1, lob to left center field. Parker Meadows lays out and makes the catch. Run number 2 is coming home. Ramos scores, but Parker made it sting a little bit less.
Yeah, just those ones off the end of the bat kind of bleeding in there where Parker Meadows gets a little tired of seeing them fall on the grass. He says, I'm going to take care of this one. And just that ball slicing away from him, too. He lays out, makes another really good catch. How many have we seen in these last month that he's doing that same thing, either robbing a home run or taking a base hit away from someone?
And part of it is that preparation we just saw. If he just went from the left center field gap to all the way in right center now with Amaya at the plate, his positioning has been outstanding across the board.
What you'll see is some guys he'll shade a little more, some guys a little less. And as a center fielder, you'll see the alignment of like where the second baseman is, where the pitcher is. That matters too, because you want to be able to track the ball all the way to home plate. You might have to tell the umpire to move once in a while, because if you can't see home plate, you can't see the ball right off the bat. So if you line yourself up too perfect with like Colt Keith, who's standing at second, you won't be able to see the ball at the plate. So he's got to shade a little more to the oppo side. Generally, almost everybody, but generally speaking, most guys, you're going to play a little bit oppo because they tend to lift the ball in the air a little bit more on the opposite field because of the swing path. By the time the bat kind of gets out in front, that's more of that line drive, ground ball trajectory. Pull side, more ground balls. Oppo side, more fly balls.
Ball outside, little double clutch there, and it's a stolen base for Corey Lee. Rogers, I think, thought he was holding strike 3, so he double clutched. Let's go back to Seattle. This was one of the turning points of this season.
It sure was. That was Cal Raleigh that he took that home run away from him, and look at his reaction. He knows how big that is.
Then Baltimore.
And then just a couple weekends ago, another one, turning point in that game.
He has changed this Tigers team since he's come back from AAA. Strike 3, inning over. 2 runs for the White Sox after 1.5.
Make every moment more with FanDuel Sportsbook. Today's same-game parlay odds set at plus 459 means $5 wins you almost $23. Jake Rogers needs a knock, Trey Sweeney the same, and Matt Barely needs an RBI. Live odds are always available at FanDuel. I'd like to know the odds of your booth partners knowing who Encyclopedia Brown was.
0.
I'm going 2-1. I'm going 2-1 on Dirks. I'm going 10-1 on Peaches. I Googled it.
Either of you ever read an Encyclopedia Brown book?
No.
To the kids or anything?
Nope. Is that like the Hank the Cowdog series? Is that part of that?
Sure,
like the continuation?
Riley Green hammers this ball on a line to center, but it is Robert on a catch. 1 away. He was a detective. He was a kid's detective, and he would solve like neighborhood problems.
Inspector Gadget.
No.
Oh, different guy.
Well,
that's Encyclopedia Brown.
That's why Johnny handles that FanDuel, because the odds were pretty much against me for no one never heard of him. Yeah. So he got the right odds.
What did you read as a kid, Dan?
Well, probably Dr. Seuss.
Okay. Green Eggs and Ham?
That's
Or?
Freeman and Schneeman. That's where that came
That's
from.
right. That's right. Oh, the places you'll go.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
That is.
Everybody gets it for graduation presents. 1-0 on Wencel Perez. And he swings through. Strike 1, 1-1.
He's got to get Cannon to miss some spots. Haven't had much loud contact yet. Don't let him get in the groove. Got to attack. He's throwing that heater up. He's got a sinker. He won't overpower you, but he throws the sweeper and the cutter kind of off of that sinker, right? Gets you going one way, thinking either way. Change up to lefties. He'll throw it to righties once in a while.
Good breaking ball inside, 2-2. We saw that good slider from Burke yesterday, too.
Yeah, Cannon's had a pretty decent year. I mean, other than a couple of starts against the Tigers, and especially his last 4, he's been pitching really well.
He's a pitch to contact guy, and if he doesn't hit the edges, though, you know, if he leaves something out over the plate with his stuff, you can touch it, but he's doing a good job right now mixing it up, keeping guys off balance. Working in, working away.
3-2, that's roped to right field, a base hit. Wencel Perez, the first hit for the Tigers. So we were talking about what's going on in Atlanta. Michael Massey, every time we look, he's doing something like this.
I've been so impressed with him. He's a good player.
To the chop house.
Yeah, that was way back. That was 96 up, too.
Yeah.
Just top-handed it.
You see he was hitting third right there, too. They were talking about how do they protect Bobby Witt Jr. with Pasquantino being out. You know, where can they put him, and or who can they put in that spot? And that was a big name that was mentioned.
He's had big hit after big hit after big hit for that Royals team since he came up a couple of years ago. Massey has.
Defensively, he's solid, too. He made some serious plays against us.
Man.
1-0 on Colt Keith, who snaps at that ball and hits it in the air left field side. Zach Deloach makes the catch. There are 2 down here in the 2nd inning. So if this were to hold, the Tigers would be in Houston, because that would mean Kansas City would have won and the Tigers would have lost. But a lot of time to go. All the games in Major League Baseball started at roughly the same time. The 3 o'clock hour, the top of the 3 o'clock hour is the requirement. That said, you can't control rain, and they're having it in New York. Oh boy, that's a pickoff. Perez is out.
Yeah, got him leaning a little bit. I think he might have been off and just kind of flinched towards second and then got caught.
Well, welcome everybody back here to the ballpark for the Miller Lite Report. I am with Joe Moskaitis from Novi, Michigan, who's with his dad, Big Joe. So you say your dad comes with you to the first and last game of every year.
Yep.
But the reason I'm talking to you is because this is your 101st game of this year.
This year, and it's going to be more. I wasn't expecting the playoffs earlier, but it's going to be at least 103 because I'm going to the wild card. Hopefully closer to 110, but we'll see.
How do you manage that? Like, how do you manage going to 101 baseball games in one season?
Save money for trips. Every road weekend series, that's a reasonable price I've been going to, and I've got a great work. They let me take weeks off, let me go to some road series during the week. Had a full trip to both the Chicagos when we were at Wrigley and Guaranteed Rate Field for Chicago as well. So got to go to both of them, and yeah, my work's awesome. They're very understanding of my passion, and they just tell me, hey, stay later for a few days and help out, and you're okay to go travel as much as you are.
Do the Tigers have a winning record when you attend?
Yep, 57-43, and we'll see what happens today. I keep track of that.
All right, what are some of the other cities you've been to?
Let me see. In order, been to Tampa, Houston, been to Boston. Follow
Tampa, Boston, Houston, Cincy?
Yeah, Cincy, Toronto, Cleveland, both Chicagos, Oakland, and Baltimore, and of course Comerica. So 11 parks this year, and over time I'll go see the Tigers play at every single one, only when the Tigers are there.
You believe this, Benetti? That's the only guy who's seen as much baseball as you have this year.
Here's why I believe this. Because every time I walk out of the team hotel on the road, Joe's there. I was like, the 3rd time I saw him this year, I was like, there he is again.
There's Joe.
It's awesome. It is awesome.
Joe, what's your favorite food at the ballpark? What's your go-tos?
All right, Joe, Dirks wants to know, favorite food. What's the go-to at a ballpark?
Ooh, favorite food, gotta go hot dog. Yeah. Hot dog
with
on the
ketchup?
water. With ketchup.
Thank you.
Not a mustard guy.
Hey, now that could be controversial.
Hot take.
We got a foul ball coming
Here you go.
They're just hitting every baseball here. I swear, every baseball's coming over here now.
You got a glove. He's got a glove.
He's got a glove
on. Reach up.
I think, yeah, and he said he actually stole this one from Dan Petrie, who stole it from clubhouse man Dan Ross.
Amazing.
All right, boys. Good stuff, Joe. Appreciate it, man.
Appreciate it,
Big Joe,
Go
thanks for
Tigers.
inspiring the passion of the young boy here.
Absolutely. Go Tigers.
Love that. Joe is one of the nicest guys. I mean, he is there all the time. All the time. You all have seen him?
I've seen him. As soon as Johnny had him on, I'm like, wait a minute. I've seen
know
Joe
that
on the
Joe.
road. Yeah.
I also really like, and I think this is a very Midwest thing, but I really like people who are named after their parents, and they go Big Blank and then blank. Big Joe and Joe.
Joe, yeah.
It's just, it's perfect. It shows how important family is.
It is. Sports is something that's always brought family together. Good memories, legacy.
3-2 fouled away by Vargas.
Just can't quite get him put away, can he?
Yeah, I was going to say, he's given quite a battle here.
Everything's kind of down, center cut over the middle of the plate. A little less, he needs to get a little more on the edges to be effective. Stay out of the middle.
3-2 called ball 4. Vargas walks. Now a message from Figer Law.
Figer Law. All we do is win.
All we do is win.
Johnny downstairs, Dan, Andy, Jason, along with you, our entire marvelous crew. It's our final telecast of this 2024 season, and the Tigers are hoping this is not the final home game of this season, as Luis Robert Jr. sends this foul. If the Tigers were to win, 2 of 3 in either Baltimore or Houston. That would guarantee you'd get at least one playoff game here at Comerica Park. And you bet you're behind, this place will be nuts.
Rocking. Absolutely rocking. People in Detroit will be here in large quantities. In the ballpark and around the ballpark. That's what people forget. Like, I mean, even the people, there'll be a bunch of people in the ballpark full. Everybody around the ballpark, there's another 50,000 people that show up around the ballpark.
That is one thing that has been breathtaking to me. The NFL draft, opening day here, the amount of people that just hang out downtown.
Yeah.
For a big sporting event. Lions game, Red Wings games, it's not like that everywhere.
No, those tailgating too. You know, they come down for those Lion games, and then, Dandy, to your point, I mean, just opening day and then the playoffs, they come down early and start early. And they got the live bands on the streets, and I mean, it's an event.
2-2, golf to right. Wenzel Perez makes the catch. Andy, your favorite single game you played in this ballpark?
I mean, winning the ALCS was amazing. When we beat the Yankees, just the atmosphere of the crowd from pitch one, we took the lead. Everybody could feel it coming, and this place was electric. The only issue I had during the playoffs was they gave everybody white towels, which in theory is cool unless you're an outfielder. And everybody's waving white towels everywhere. And it's, you know, games on the line. Let's go Tigers chance while they're waving white. And there's a white baseball that you're supposed to see when it goes in the air. That was a little nerve-wracking.
Was it?
Oh, yeah, it was hard to see the ball. I was kind of like, man, if somebody could just tell them when they're on defense, wave the flags. And when we're on defense, don't.
Yeah.
That would have been a huge home field advantage.
Did you tell anybody at the time? Did you say, like, hey, how about orange?
I was like, I went in because you never want to complain as a baseball player. It's like, suck it up. Oh, the sun's out. Oh, whatever. Like, oh, sunball. You can't say, oh, the sun got my eyes, you know?
Right.
So and it's like, but there was a lot of white flags waving, and I mentioned to Jackson, I'm like, hey, man, how you doing? There was a pitching change. He's
Austin Jackson.
Austin Jackson. He's like, I'm doing all right. How are you doing? And I go, because I didn't want to bring it up to him. He didn't. And he's like, you see what I'm seeing? I said, I do see what you're seeing. He's like, that's tough, isn't it? I was like, yep.
This is in the air, left field. That's a base hit down the left field line, and it'll be first and second. Vargas to second base. So neither of you wanted to say anything.
You never say anything because as soon as you make a big deal out of it, you notice it more.
Yeah. How about this little end of the bat shot?
Like
Look at
three
him.
of them.
Do you see where he's looking?
Doinked.
He's
yeah,
looking to
like,
Saturn.
where did I hit this?
He hit it on the
it's
cup
there.
of the bat. So that bat's got hollowed out on the end where that cup is, and he hit it right on the end. And that's like a little trick shot in pool. Chalked it up on the end, hit it with a lot of English.
Little snooker never hurt anybody. Here's Andrew Vaughn to take ball number 1. 2 on, 1 out. And, you know, the Tigers, this is not one of those situations where you finish the series and then you have like a 4-day layoff. You have to be cognizant with what game 162 is going to do to your bullpen for Tuesday. This is a 2-day turnaround for game 1 in the wild card round, as this is foul just short of our booth. Dan, you could also have a 1 o'clock or so time slot on Tuesday. So this could be a real fast turnaround.
Exactly, and that's why, you know, AJ still was very concerned when we talked to him before the game when he came in front of everybody just about how to manage that very same thing in that bullpen.
Foul pop. Vierling has out number 2.
Well, I think too you get some answers from AJ on how much he really cares about who he plays, on who may or may not come out of that bullpen today.
And this game, while there is value, you can't know whether or not Houston or Baltimore is a better matchup. You can't know.
And I don't think, like we've talked about, if it was that big a deal, you wouldn't be saving Skubal. So,
correct.
Obviously, you're in the postseason. Every team's good in the postseason. And the matchup might be, it's a coin flip because maybe you run into a team that plays really well for 3 games and a team that doesn't. You don't know which one that's going to be.
0-1. High fly ball, deep left field. Green is back at the wall, and it is 5-0 White Sox. Lenyn Sosa takes Maeda deep.
Yeah, that first one was off the end of the bat that he lined into left field. This one's that splitter. Look at it hang up on the inside part of the plate. Sosa tends to be a little bit behind that real good fastball, but that one he's going to be able to catch up on. Oh, and just misses that souvenir.
Lineman hands.
But linemen can hold. Here's Ramos. Strike one. Lenyn Sosa had a big home run for the White Sox last week to send the Padres into extra innings. And here his 3-run home run has given the White Sox an early 5-0 lead over the Tigers today.
And most of the damage the White Sox have done in this series has been off the off-speed pitches. Hanging sliders, changeups, split fingers. And anytime you leave a ball out over the plate to a big league hitter and it's not moving much and it's about 85 mile an hour, good things traditionally don't happen.
You know, and I just look too as the pitch count kind of climbs here a little bit. You watch the velocity on all the pitches, the fastball and the sweeper and the slider and the split, and they go down also. You know, if that outing he had in Baltimore when his velocity was real good, it was short, quick, very few pitches. Now when you've got to battle you got to battle through the inning. It takes a lot out of them. And then that velocity goes down and those hitters can see it a lot better, adjust to it a lot better, and you're seeing that too. A couple of unfortunate hits a little bit too, but you know, those are a little bit up in the strike zone where they're able to muscle them out into the outfield.
Strike three. Ramos punches out, but the White Sox have taken a big time lead. We're just hoping this thing ends a little bit like this here footage.
That just gave me goosebumps. Look at the hair on the back of my neck.
Where you is. Oh, look at you jumping in there.
Got to get in with the boys.
5-0 White Sox, bottom of the third here at Comerica Park. Spencer Torkelson looks at a strike.
See how Jonathan Cannon handles this lead, though, after getting smacked around in the first two starts, going just 5 innings. Let's see what he does with a 5-0 lead. See if it changes anything that he does or kind of starts, man, I haven't been in this position too often.
Not against these guys. Little tapper, third base side of the mound. It got by Cannon. He had to sweep it up, and the footing wasn't sturdy enough. The time lapse didn't work for him, and it's an infield single for Tork.
Yeah, that's a tough play for a pitcher. The only thing that you could hope for is that third baseman can come in. That wasn't going to happen because they're playing back on Torkelson. And then you see that little bit of a bobble right there. If he comes up with it, it might be interesting. Look at Spencer Torkelson right out of the box, and that's going to be a tough play. He's able to get that base hit.
How are you with fielding off the mound?
I mean, I took a lot of pride in it.
Yeah.
I thought.
Were you good?
One year I led I don't know if this is a good or bad thing. One year I led the league in assists.
No kidding. A lot of comebackers.
A lot of comebackers.
Really?
Yeah.
Soft contact. A lot of bunts probably. They try to bunt on you a lot because they couldn't hit you.
No, I think there was a lot of. It might have been, a lot of 105 one-hoppers back at me, too. I don't know.
Okay. You threw a sinker, though, right?
I did.
Yeah, that's why. A lot of sinker ball. Sinker ballers get a lot of comebackers.
But nobody, I mean, everybody takes a lot of pride in it. I mean, because for that reason right there, I mean, you can stop a lot of that and help yourself out.
Sweeney just tried to fight that off as a fastball came clear inside, and there's one away. And if the Tigers score 3 or more runs in this game, you can visit a participating Arby's location tomorrow and receive a free small order of curly fries.
Or you can get a Benetti jersey.
That might be the most popular jersey in Comerica Park these days.
It's Benetti 24.
What a state of affairs that is.
You do remind me of like Miguel Cabrera.
Okay.
Ken Griffey Jr.
I thought you were going to say Jack Bauer. in my high regard for authority. 1-0 on Rogers. Jake in the air, center field. Robert Jr. is back on it to make the catch. That is very nice of whomever that is. I think it was Johnny Kane.
That might have been Johnny.
It's the same jersey, they're just passing it around. Is that what you're saying?
Hey, can you wear this for a second for me?
Johnny evidently just talked to the person wearing that jersey.
What do you got now?
What?
What was the question?
They showed a Benetti jersey with
Yeah.
a guy turning the wrong direction, and I said, was that Johnny?
Dude, this is a great guy, man. Ian came all the way up from Atlanta.
Wow.
I want to talk to him. He's here with his dad.
That's nice.
You good with that?
Yeah, I mean,
maybe next half in.
I just hope he's okay.
What's the one next to him? Is that a Higginson jersey?
He's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next half in.
I thought maybe he lost
This
his
is a good
fantasy
man.
football league.
like he had to wear it.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
He was forced into wearing it. No.
No, it's awesome. That's
No,
very
it's
cool.
great, dude.
It's very cool.
Great, dude.
Yeah.
But I want you to hear his story.
Okay.
Next half in.
All right. Sounds good. 1-1. Check swing. He might have gone. He did. 1-2.
So just attacking with the same stuff over and over. He's got that like back foot slider. The sinker the Tigers have not been able to solve. He's thrown that a lot. It's getting fouled off. They're taking it for a strike. Then a little swing back right here. Watch out for it.
He was ready for it. Line to center. Base hit. Tigers have a little something brewing here in the third.
Nice job, Parker. They're trying to go with that swing back that they got Trey Sweeney on. It just leaked out over the plate. And you can see Parker, no panic, don't freak out, just put a good swing on it.
No, they had a good plan, but they didn't execute it. They threw a cutter in on the hands, a slider in on the hands, and to your point, Andy, they wanted to throw that swing back. Started right at his right hip and catch that inside part of the plate. And Cannon didn't get it in there, and Parker was waiting for it.
Fly ball left field. Deloach is back. He's at the track, and he makes the catch. And that'll do for the Tigers here in the third. We'll go to the fourth. 5-0, the White Sox lead.
When we talk about Detroit Tigers fans, we talk about great passion, and I'm here with Ian and Sean Barry. Sean, Dad celebrated a birthday yesterday. Ian, wearing the Benetti jersey today. You're celebrating a birthday today. How'd you end up with this jersey, man?
Custom made. My family said, hey, come down. We have a present for you. And look what I got.
That's unreal, man. And you wear it with pride.
I do. I love what Jason's doing for those of us that have our challenges, and it's been awesome to see.
I appreciate you, brother. And Jason's become a good friend to me. And I just appreciate you being here, and I appreciate your dad instilling the love of the Tigers. Even though you're living down in Atlanta, we might need to get you up here in Detroit to see a few more games.
We had to make the drive up because the hurricane canceled the flight, but we made it.
Whoa. They drove?
Made it from game 162. How far is that drive?
11 and a half hours.
Oh.
You know, through the
Nothing.
rain. No.
Like you do.
We're here. We saw the clinch. That's all we cared about.
It's a beautiful thing, man.
Dude.
Jason, you got some fans out here,
Yeah,
brother.
just please tell Ian, please,
You're a national treasure, brother.
That is
National
for
treasure.
sure. Keep it going, buddy.
please tell both of them thank you from the bottom of my heart, Johnny.
I will, buddy.
Thank you.
Jason says thank you. Thanks, Ian.
That is awesome. That is so cool. I really appreciate that very much. You know, we have silly jobs, guys. We really do, because by existing, we can affect people's days, and that's
Some in good
y'all
ways.
want to do play-by-play for a little while? Because I don't know.
That's
I don't know how I'm gonna make it.
That's moving, isn't it?
That's awesome. I mean, it's awesome. And I will just say, like, the value of sports. Because some people are like, man, yeah, we could put the money into this, or we could put the money into that, and we spend money on sports teams and all. This is the one place where you can go and you can become friends with people that you never would have met otherwise, or you might not even liked otherwise. But you're all wearing Tigers jerseys, and so you're friends. And that is why Friday night was so special. Because it's a bunch of people in a world that is always at odds. A bunch of people that don't ask anything about each other than, you a Tiger fan? And it's like, yo,
Let's
yeah,
go.
let's be friends forever. Then you ask any other question, it's like,
No,
I don't know that I agree on that.
Let's go Tigers.
that's
Yeah,
exactly.
and
Let's
everybody's
just stay there and enjoy each other and realize that we are all more alike than we actually ever think.
No, sports has always been a great uniter, man. And like you said, you get to meet so many different people that you would never otherwise even get a chance to or even consider. you know, because everybody's busy. Everybody's so busy in this world, you know, work and kids and different things going on. And then here we are. Everybody comes to a baseball game rooting for the same team, same cause. They'll drive 11 and a half hours through a hurricane to come and enjoy a moment that they know will live on for a long, long time.
You know, and I've seen it too, and don't mean to.
You're going to make this about me again.
Well, I know, and I'm sorry, but I mean, I've seen it on the road, and it's not just here at Comerica Park how you affect other, you know, people's lives, you know, in positions that, you know, that you can help them out. And I've seen that firsthand. There's been a number of times where you'll stop immediately and whatever you're doing and take pictures of people, and you know, they're writing cards and letters to you and everything. It's a beautiful thing to witness if you're on the road.
Everybody has a hero. Everybody needs a hero. You just happen to be a few people's hero, and that's a good thing. They look up to you.
Well, what I will say is why I thank you all for saying that, but the people of Detroit and Tigers fans have been so warm and welcoming to me. And I will say, I mean, I said it when I first got here, but I've always kind of understood this city. And this team fits perfectly because being judged for the first thing you see is never worth it because there's always more. And if this team is defined by any phrase, it's there was always more. Stream your favorite Detroit sports teams on the Bally Sports app, presented by Miller Lite. First pitch, ball one to Matt Vierling. It'll be Vierling, Green, and Perez. Matt Vierling, the only guy in the lineup today with playoff experience, and that will come in handy, especially if the Tigers do, as it would stand right now, end up having to go play in Houston. He played there in the World Series a couple of years ago. He's familiar with what the environment looks like. So is A.J. Hinch, and that is certainly not something to take lightly. Two and 0. Is inside 3-0. It would be nice, and I know this game really will have nothing to do with the series in Baltimore or Houston, but you know, piece together some runs here, just get a little mojo going into the playoffs.
I think just have good at bats. You know, Cannon's kind of mixing it up with the sinker, the slider down and away. Kind of got like this would be a guy that would be like Eflin, the way he's throwing right now, if they go to Baltimore. You know, not an overpowering guy. You got to set back. The key is to see the ball a little bit deeper against him. Don't try to jump it too hard.
You know, that was one of the interesting things that AJ was talking about his staff today that I found very interesting, talking about his hitting group, the three coaches that they have. And you know what? They never have an easy day because half the team did really good in a game. So you'll have some guys feeling really good going into that first game.
Strike three, one away.
And then you'll have another group that didn't have a whole lot of success yesterday, didn't swing it good today. Now they're in the first game of the wild card, and they're going up to the hitting group saying, hey, man, I don't know what happened, but those last two games, I didn't feel right. So that hitting group's got a lot of pressure on them, or they're constantly dealing with two separate groups, one that's successful, one that's not successful.
The way AJ was describing it, it sounds a little bit like running a restaurant. You know, you can churn out great food, but there's always a couple tables that are like, yeah, you know, it was a little undercooked, right? The quality control of hitting just sounds miserable. Fulfilling when you get it right, but there's no good day is an interesting way to describe it.
Even in a blowout game, you know, if the team has 20 hits, there's always a guy that went over.
Couple of strikeouts. Yep.
So, and that's who the hitting coach is dealing with the next day. You know, working with that guy. I was in that group a decent amount. What do we need to do to get this back on track? Lloyd McClennan.
You know,
if you're out there, I'm sorry.
It's not all about, hey, Andy, I think you're doing this. It might just be a little mental cue for you, too, just to get you right back. Hey, don't worry about it. You're swinging good.
Ooh, look out, Riley, 3-2.
At this point in the season, too, your swing is what it is. You're not making any huge swing adjustments going into the postseason, right? So however you feel, you have to just find a way to put a productive at bat together, whether that's seeing a lot of pitches, putting a good swing on something.
Back up the middle, it's Cannon who lights the fuse on out number 2.
And in the postseason, it's harder to get pitches out over the plate because every pitch matters. So when you get a good pitcher in the postseason, you'll see them working a lot of the edges. They're dialed in. They're very confident in what they're doing. And as a hitter, you just see a few less of those pitches out over the middle of the plate because you're facing the best pitchers in the world. That's why those teams are there. So you have to dial it in, and it's a battle, man. It's like when you step to the plate in the postseason, every pitcher's good. Nobody's just going to throw a meatball up there for you to hit over the fence. They don't want to be that guy. And you just got to string together good at-bats, wear the pitcher down a little bit.
Dan, what did you notice in hitters in the postseason?
Well, I was just thinking around with Andy, just the other thing that's difficult is, and I know starting pitchers maybe go 5 innings, but the bullpens are so important now that very rarely if you get into a big situation where you got a chance to come up with a big hit, man, they're making a move and you're getting some nasty piece coming out of the bullpen, So you're not, to Andy's point, you're not going to get a whole lot of great pitches to hit. And if you do, you got to make sure you don't miss them.
You got to be ready.
I keep thinking back to Riley's line all the time about, that one pitch, first pitch of an at-bat, or that just one pitch, that might be the best pitch I see in that entire at-bat, and I want to make sure that I don't take it. I've always got to be ready, Andy, like you said, and ready to jump on it.
2-2 misses, 3 balls, 2 strikes on Perez. 2 out, nobody on. Kansas City's just taken the lead 4-1 on a Hunter Renfroe homer against Charlie Morton. And so it's looking increasingly likely that the Tigers play in Houston as Dominic Fletcher makes the catch for round number 3. We'll go to the 5th with the Tigers trailing.
Managing like Game 7 for like 2 months is what it feels like. And so obviously we want to win today's game, and we're going to use the guys that can help us win today's game. And you're going to see us play the same brand that we've been playing with that has got us to this point. So there's no 4 corners in our sport. There's no take the air out of the ball. There's no kneeling. We got to play the 9 innings, and we've got to play to win.
A.J. Hinch with today's call, Sam Best call, and he went on to say, guys, about who they might face. I just think you need to let the games play out, let the baseball schedule play out. If you start thinking about, it'd be great to go here, go there, play this team or that team, that other team will kick your blank. They just will. Baseball doesn't allow you to get too greedy.
We're not playing match game, are we? We don't fill in the blank, do we?
This isn't a choose your own adventure book.
I didn't take anatomy, but I don't remember where that was. Blank.
No,
is that next to the tibia?
It is, yeah.
Oh.
It's right there. It's a good point, Johnny, and I'm glad you brought it up, as that's plunking. Vargas hit by the pitch.
Yeah, poor Vargas. Kenta went in earlier, about smoked him. This pitch, he says, I can't get out of the way of this one.
Yeah, it's a couple breaking balls that have just kind of spun in that middle of the plate, too.
Johnny, did you have more before we interrupted you unceremoniously?
No, you got me all right.
Okay, all right, good.
But somebody just asked me, he said, hey, who would we rather face, Baltimore or Houston? He said, well, who are you asking?
Yeah.
I think to AJ's point is kind of like you can get greedy, right? So, okay, now we're in. Okay, we clinched on Friday. Now let's get this guy. But as we know, baseball is the ultimate dictator to decide what happens next, and you just play it out.
Yeah, we just saw, by the way, Casey Mize getting loose in the Tigers bullpen. So we'll see what the plan is in terms of how many innings or what he would be called upon for. And it's an opportunity once again to come out of the bullpen for a guy who had never done that until this last week or so. Yeah, I also think, I was going to say, Andy, that the team you play will determine your roster.
100%. Depends on how many lefties they got, righties. Like for Mize, he's got the fastball splitter combo. So with that, he's going to line up, okay, what are these left-handed hitters if he does have to face a lefty in any given inning? What's he look like against these righties? What's he look like against these lefties? Where could I stack him up in this lineup to create a pocket if he does come in? What would that look like?
Breaking ball inside turns into a fly ball to left. That's Riley Green. And Menards brings you the big money encounter. A little bit of a breakdown between the Orioles and the Astros here, and they're so close. They're just so close in terms of what they do. The Orioles bullpen has struggled, right? So for a Tigers team that has played better, Dan, in the second half of games than their opponents in the second half of the season, that is a little tantalizing, right?
Yeah, I would agree, especially having Presley and Hader on the back end of that Astros bullpen. You know, the Orioles, you know, they were first. I don't know where they are now. They were first in home runs when the Tigers were playing them. So you know a lot of their success is on offense.
You make a phone call there?
I was going to say.
Yeah, who's?
Wow,
it's the bullpen.
He's ready.
Feder was calling up to the booth.
Yeah. Hey, Fed, what's up?
Hey, what do you think, guys? He just want a little, you know, hey, do you think we should go this way? You know how he does, Jason, off air. He always asks you. There's that splitty. Look at that thing.
That's the one.
Bottom dropped out of it. It looks good when they swing at it, doesn't it?
That's that good one, especially, when it looks like that fastball disguised as a fastball. But just to get back to Baltimore, getting some of their offensive pieces back, they're getting 3 pieces back, 2 of them joined, but Mountcastle coming back. I mean, so that offense, and they no doubt miss Batista at the back end of that bullpen, but, there was some times where you saw that Oriole bullpen maybe didn't look as dominating, when you're trying to close out a game in the 8th or 9th inning.
That is strike 3 called, 2 away. And looking ahead to the possibility of that series, that would be Skubal game 1, and then game 2 and game 3 you start talking about who's better in the later innings, right? If Skubal could win you game 1 and you could have to just sneak one out, we'll see. Anyway, cart before the horse, certainly. Mize is coming in, Maeda's coming out. Tigers are trailing here in the 5th. Bullpen, it's our Wolfside Windows pitching change, so he's just off, Dan, his first relief appearance in his major league career.
Yeah, and I was just thinking this is one of those ones where talking about Casey Mize and his value in the postseason roster, he's coming up on a nice group of right-handed hitters. Now he certainly wants to just get this and get them back in the dugout, but Andrew Vaughn, good hitter. Sosa's already homered, and Ramos, so right in the center of that order. So AJ wants to see how he can handle this. Should he be called upon in a tough position in a playoff game, in a wild card game, see how Casey handles these 3 good right-handed hitters that he might be facing.
I mean, I just want to see 98 personally.
I think you'll see.
I want to see Casey just get it out, let it eat, run that fastball up to 98, throw a 91-mile-an-hour slider, and then let's call that a day. He can work a split finger if he needs to. Sometimes he leaves that pitch up, but if he can get his arm to where he can come out of that bullpen, throw 98, there's 96. He went up one. It was 95, now 96. Get up 97, 98, because the back end of that bullpen in the playoffs, velo helps.
It does.
100%, because you don't want to give up homers. That's a big part of postseason baseball and we know slugging percentages go down tremendously once guys get over that 95, 96 mile an hour mark. Yep. You'll see those slugging percentages go down quick.
I just remember in Kansas City when you guys were doing that game, and Casey, that was in his start, but I mean, that crowd was just electric in Kansas City, and you could tell that it affected him, and he was hitting 98 that game, that because you could tell by the adrenaline and what those games meant.
To shortstop and through the wickets for Sweeney. That's a rare atom ball that Trey Sweeney doesn't handle cleanly.
Yeah, we have not seen this from Trey Sweeney, but the ball kind of hops up on him at the last second, hits him in the heel of the hand, which happens. Don't worry, everybody. It's going to be okay.
I knew your mind was going there.
Relax.
We just haven't seen a stretch of back-to-back games where the Tigers haven't really totally been in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. This is we clinched in I think it was 2012, and last 3 games we got swept by the Marlins, who were terrible.
Ground ball to third. It's Vierling across the diamond to retire the side.
But we ended up making it to the World Series. Stay tuned for the Miller Lite update right after this message from Miller Lite.
been when somebody had to nudge you to talk.
No, I know. Yeah, well,
he took to game 162.
There he is.
Yeah, there
There's
you go.
our guy. There's
No,
the
but
American League Cy Young
but I
Award.
asked him in the club. I thought that's where you're going. I asked him in the clubhouse. I said, "Well, who's going to hit it hardest?" And he said, "Me." And then he took one of his drinks and he took a very large swig of it. And by very large swig, I mean the entire drink.
But that's like, he's a big guy.
Big dude.
That's like, you know, a little tiny can in his hand. 12 ounces, that'd be like you doing like 2 ounces.
Okay.
Like,
Thank
you know,
you.
per capita of drink,
Yeah.
per volume of man.
No, I feel good about this. Thanks, Andy. 1-1. Colt Keith pops it up third base side. And a reaching grab by Vargas for out number 1. I will say we just learned why Dan Petrie is the smartest person in this booth, and it's not even close. Because when they give him one of those cards, Chuck, do you have a card that I can show as a prop here? When they give him one of these cards, you know, it says whatever the read is or whatever it might be. He says, just tell me go Dan when it's my turn to talk.
But yeah, the other thing is my name won't be on that one because there's way too many words on it.
No, that's right.
He likes the short
You
one.
say 6 words or less. There's a chopper foul off the body of Torkelson. Yeah, but that's right. You just want people to tell you when to talk. And I could have used that right there.
Yeah,
I could
go
have used
Dan.
that right there.
Go Benetti.
Yeah.
And then when, you know, you got Dickerson up here, it's, you know, it's got to be go Peaches.
Ah,
You know,
that's a good
so
point.
It's I'm very clear that I need the prompt.
That's in for a strike. Nothing in 2 on Torque.
But that Triple Crown, I mean, I don't care if it's hitting, which, you know, Shohei Ohtani still has a chance at the Triple Crown, but one of those categories to me is amazing.
Yeah.
You know, but all 3 of them, either hitting or pitching, it still is just amazing to me.
You got to be a complete package. There's no doubt about it. You got to have power, get the strikeouts. You got to limit the runs. Means you can't walk a lot of people.
And hitting in the same way.
Hitting,
I mean, you got to
yeah.
have an average.
And it
runs.
has to be a season where there's a guy that doesn't do something just miraculous in one of the categories, like when Miggy won the Triple Crown. I hit like 330 something, but nobody hit 350 or
Yeah, like the
345.
Felix Hernandez ERA season. That
Exactly.
Sort of,
So so everything kind of has to work into that as well, to where there's not one guy that just has a historic season in one category.
Yeah.
I struck out 487 people this year. Good luck.
Right.
I might have walked another 300.
Yeah, Rick Vaughn of
Yeah, exactly.
famed
So,
Cleveland team.
but that's why it's so rare and such an accomplishment.
And no, I would say nobody deserves it more, right? We all sometimes or don't get what we deserve in life, depending on the season, depending on our fortune, whatever it might be. But Tarek Skubal has worked so hard for this. He has thrown himself so much at the process of being a robot and getting the work done every day to demand winning.
Dan was looking at this picture up there from what, 2 years ago?
Exactly. That's what I was going to say, the same thing. Yep.
They play this game on the video board, right, where it's like matching cards or whatever it is, like concentration. And you were looking at it and you were like, man, Scoop's changed a little bit, huh?
Yeah, and that was, you know, like all of these guys, just that strength and conditioning program that they've been on. I mean, the huge shoulders, the huge legs, the huge rear end, just to carry them through this season and to keep them.
I think that soundbite's not going anywhere. You're wrong.
No, but no, I've said that plenty of times.
No, I know.
I mean, you know,
I'm just telling you.
That's what they.
Oh,
that's what you
anatomy
need,
class
those
today.
big thighs, those big.
Is that close to the blank?
That is. That
It's
is
right
the
around
same.
the blank.
That's right.
Ball 4, Torque is on with 1 out here in the 5th inning. And go Dan.
Isn't it go Dan?
Go
Go Dan.
All right, vote Tarek Skubal for the 2024 Roberto Clemente Award presented by Capital One. Plus, join Skubal in making a positive impact off the field by visiting alternativesforgirls.org to learn more about and to support. Vote for Skubal today at MLB.com/Clemente Award.
Please do that. It's
And
worth
that
your time.
it is, you know, and that's one of those awards that means so much to players too, just because of the gentleman's name that is on that award. That means a lot. I don't care what era, you know, that you grew up in. Roberto Clemente was not only a fine player, but just a wonderful ambassador for the game of baseball, and that's why that trophy or that award means a lot to baseball players.
Did you ever get to meet him, Dan Clemente?
No, and you'll be probably not surprised to hear that I had a Pittsburgh Pirate hat at the time too, because of Roberto Clemente when I was growing up.
You were a big-time baseball history buff, weren't you?
Yeah. I told you I had a San Diego Padre hat because of Nate Colbert when we were out in San Diego.
Yeah.
And I'd latch on to somebody and buy their hat. I had all kinds of hats.
Then you put their cards in the spokes of your bike.
Oh man, all the Hall of Famers that I put in my spokes. Yeah, I wish I had those all back. The Willie Mays, Willie McCovey, they were my favorites, so you always stick those in there because they were your favorites, and sure enough, rub their image right off.
Is that what happened?
Oh yeah.
The spokes just kind of ground it down into nothing?
Yeah, just takes that printing right off the top.
That's what I did to my Major League Baseball ID this year.
Put it in the spokes of your bike?
No, I put it in the washing machine. So the same thing happened.
That's that one that gives you all the trouble.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't scan anymore. Do you mind if I show everybody what I did to my ID this year? Here's what I did. See, it used to have my face on it. Now it's just washed out.
See, I'm doing more productive things. I'm voting for Tarek Skubal, Roberto Clemente Award.
Good for you. Look at you, the productive one with the best attention span in the booth. Ball 4, Sweeney is on, 2 on, 1 out, and maybe this is a little bit of an alarm clock for the Tigers offense.
You see that sinker starting to miss. Tigers have been struggling getting on that sinker. They've been missing it, fouling it off. And now we got a couple base runners because they were patient enough. Couldn't find that slider. Now Jake Rogers is stepping up, got a little mound visit.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was waiting. It looked like they weren't going to do the mound visit. And we were talking yesterday about this is exactly when Chris Fetter would make that mound visit. And we're just seeing what's taking the White Sox so long to do this.
The White Sox the other night ran out of mound visits, which is rare.
Yeah, that can come back to hurt you a little bit.
Yeah, you might need one.
All right, I got to put my birthday in.
You're still voting?
Yeah, I'm just going to knock this out while I'm thinking about it or I'll forget. No time like the present. Benetti, what's your email address?
Don't do that. Dan, do you have something to say that's not doxing me?
Yeah, I was just Marvin Hudson just went out there. It took them so long to make up their mind if they were going to go do the trip that Marvin Hudson went out there to say, hey, come on, let's go. You were late in making your mind up here, and I'm not going to give you all day, trying to speed them up.
All right, we're submitted.
We're
ready for action.
All right, now some runs.
Come on, Jake.
A vote and then some runs. That's ball 1. Marvin Hudson's like, dude, it's game 162. This isn't June the 3rd. (1-0). Swerves outside. Yeah, he's cross-firing a little bit here, Dan.
Yep, and that's just, how do you feel? You're in that 5th inning. All I got to do is get through that 5th inning, and I'll be in a position to win the game because I'm up 5-0. This is where it gets a little iffy. You start aiming it a little bit. Oh, come on, throw a strike.
He did. Rogers rips it right into left field and a slide and grab for DeLoach. For out number 2, those atom balls can sometimes get a little bit wonky, eh?
Yeah, they can, especially when they're of the top spin variety. That's a little Venus Williams forehand coming at him there, and he just about lost it in the heel of the glove, but came up with it. There's only one rule as an outfielder.
Now, Jake Rogers, I think in his first at-bat, he had a really good swing and hit it to the wall in center field. That was another good swing. He's 0 for 2. You're still feeling pretty good about your swings and your at-bats, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You never, the outcome of whether you get a hit or not is not always going to be fair. But just put a good swing on the ball. See the ball well. Put a good swing on something.
2-0. See if they can wait out Cannon here. Kerry Carpenter would be next. Tigers will play again Tuesday in the wild card round. This, the regular season finale. It's 3-0. on Parker Meadows, and I would imagine this is a take.
Yeah, you got to try to get to Carey, because if they can get to Carpenter, if they go to the bullpen, who they got? They got somebody in there. The 10 by 42s don't work. There's a green wall in the way, but you know, it'd be good to get Carpenter up there, one swing at it.
Nobody up. It looks like 3-1 on Meadows.
Now they got a lefty
Just
going.
got somebody up. Yep.
Well, we saw Ellard and Schuster 2 nights ago. They have Eater down there as well. It's Frazier Ellard getting loose, and it might not be in time. That's ball 4. Bases loaded. Kerry Carpenter's the batter.
This is the matchup you want right here. Get him Chuck full. Get Carpenter up there, and he's hurrying. Ellard's trying to hurry. He's crow hopping down there, throwing in a panic all of a sudden. But it looks like they're going to have to go at Carey.
Yeah, that pitch timer's winding down. It's at 9, and they're going to reset it with Carpenter getting into the box. But yeah,
Carey, get in the box. Get in the box. We got a guy, Sizemore on the top step. Who's going to go first? All right, get in there, Carey.
It's Carp.
That's
good.
what we want.
See that slugging percentage and the rarefied air he's part of. Going to work out of the wind here with the bases loaded. And Carpenter hits it high in the air. Deep right center field. It's a slam! That was the alarm clock going off just a little while ago. Second career grand slam for Kerry Carpenter. It is shocking that Ellard was not up after the second walk.
You got to be kidding me. What? That's why I was like, get in the box, Carp. Cannon he's done. That sinker is no longer sinking.
And nothing's a strike except for the one pitch that Kerry wanted to be a strike.
M&M. He's an M&M, Mr. Middle. And he might be chocolate or peanut. I don't know. I don't care, because that was middle, and he deposited it.
Twisted to shortstop. The Tigers are right back in this thing. This is why everybody came the last day of the regular season.
And this is exactly the big hit that you wanted, that big momentum shift that you're coming back going into the postseason with. That hit right there. And now we're going to find out how they're going to come back to win this game.
Andy, your thoughts?
See ya. See ya. I mean, get rowdy. Get rowdy.
Number 6 is inside. Ball number 1 to Brian Ramos. You, over the course of this season, have through moments like that met some of our crew on this telecast. Mason and Chuck and Bobby every once in a while will sneak in here. They're going to be too shy to come over into the shot here and say hello, but I'd like for them to come over and say hello. Our booth is some joyous people who enjoy big moments, and you all have wondered, hey, who's that dude that's in the back of the shot?
Come
Chuck,
on, step on up in here.
Chuck's our stage manager. Mace is our audio guy up here in the booth, and they're usually standing behind going like this. That's Chuck. That's Chuck, right? Thank you, guys.
He can't see the action from where he's at.
Mace sometimes does this. Right?
Yeah, I like that one.
But they are two marvelous people. They have done phenomenal work all year and been so kind to me, even when I don't want them to touch my headset cord. It's been great. So seriously, just tremendous human beings. We want you to know who they are because they work really, really hard, and you've seen them on plays like that. So we figure we might as well introduce you.
Classic guys. They got some good stories too.
They do, and good videos. It's ball 4. It's a walk for Ramos.
See Casey whack his leg right there. After your team scores a good amount of runs, Dan, you know, the last thing you want to do is to let a guy on for free.
Yeah, and especially the leadoff hitter in the inning, too.
Well, and speaking of letting one more guy on for free, we mentioned Bobby. Bobby's up here. He does a phenomenal job as well. And we want to introduce you to him because you may have seen him. Here's Bobby. There's Bobby. Bobby's a great guy. Hi, Bobby.
Bobby!
How you doing? Good to see you. Fantastic. Once again, 20 seconds late for the party here. So thank you very much, Bobby. He said he was working.
He was working. We lose the feed for a half second. We know what happened.
When you do games in the same place for 81 a year, to have friends in the booth, true friends in the booth, not just work acquaintances, but friends in the booth, it's a tremendous thing. It really is. And we love everybody who touches this telecast. You got Paul over here, who's a stat guy, and BH and MO in the truck, and Zach and Austin and Mikey and Justin and everybody in tape and all the camera people. It's hard to name literally everybody, but man, they work their tails off. And we really do appreciate it. Now they're dancing like Mason.
Yep, that's the Mason dance.
They're doing the mace.
They're doing the mace.
That is the greatest shot we've had all year. But seriously, to everybody in the truck and everybody in the Bally Sports Detroit studio, we know it's been a really difficult season for everybody with transition and what's going on with everything in the TV space and all that. And I got to tell you, like, through it all, we have had some marvelous television because of all of you. So thank you, sincerely.
Yeah, I've been blown away. I mean, I didn't know what to expect coming into the TV side of things. And it is like you were catered to like you're a big leaguer. They're like, Andy, this is how you do the it took them like a week to get me to write on that little telestrator right. They're like, use your fingernail, and I'd use my finger. Andy, and they're so patient with me.
Use your words.
Yeah, use your words, not your finger. So these guys, everybody's great.
It's never easy when there's a change in the booth, and everybody here has handled it so beautifully and so kindly and been so welcoming to me. So I personally appreciate it, and I just want everybody at home to know who watches these telecasts, because we clowns here, everybody in the booth gets the recognition, but it's really the people in the truck who make this thing go.
And that's what they do. Their job, they always tell me, is to make you look good, and boy, do they.
Well, that's hard work.
And boy, is that difficult.
Yeah,
On the ground up the middle, on the dive, Keith ricochets it to Sweeney. Throw to first. They got the out at second somehow. How in the world is that an out at second base? Wow.
Just to have that presence of mind to get over there and get that bag with the right foot and almost got the double play.
That's crazy.
That's just a pirouette. Sweeney, look at the footwork. Athleticism, pirouette, and throw. Pirouette and throw.
You sound like a ballet teacher.
That's what he's out there doing a little ballet.
And
I don't think I can get him to wear a tutu, but
it's ball one. Dan, how long did it take to teach you how to use the telestrator?
I've been with Bally's here now for 6 years, and I still can't use it. You want to see?
Yeah, please. Right on. There you go.
Well,
yeah.
okay.
Circle me, Dan.
Circle
you, Dan.
You know, that's there's Andy.
Yeah. Nice, Dan.
Yeah,
that's a pretty good circle.
Hey, that's not bad. There's Jason.
Hey, that's me. I'm on TV. Wow.
3 knuckleheads.
2-0 pitch is from now. It's a problem though when you become the sneaky funny one, because then there's nobody to hold down the fort.
Yeah,
Dan.
he is the voice of reason.
You are.
Over this weekend.
3 knuckleheads,
There's
said.
some stability.
2-1. I am just so gratified that we have had such fun doing this year. And this telecast is game 162, and it counts in the standings. But this is a celebration of all the joy we've gotten to have over Tigers baseball and to share it all with you at home. And we thank you for interacting on social media. And Dan, I know you're at the set a lot. You get a lot of people come up, say hello. And it's because of how much people care about this team and spend time with us. They spend a lot of time with us.
And that's why I look at the crowd that's out here, you know, and it's not just that everybody that's here today, but a lot of people watch the games, watch the pre and post games, stick with these Tigers.
Up the middle, Sweeney had to cover, so it ends up in center field. That's a knock. Dominic Fletcher and Corey Lee go first and third here. Would have been 2, but instead with Lee moving because it was a 3-2 count, Sweeney had to cover.
He goes sinker down to get the ground ball. He got the ground ball, but it was hit too hard. Sweeney went to cover, vacates the little area there where the ball actually went. And now it's first to third. Casey's got to work out of a jam here. This is where you want to get weak contact to start it or get ahead in the count. Throw something down and away. If you could throw that little 2-seam down and away, try to get a ground ball or a quick strike.
Amaya, ground ball. Casey Mize is on the hunt. He threw it to third. Probably didn't need to as early as he did. Now Jake Rogers on the prowl. Gets the tag. There's out number 2. Runners will go to second and third behind the play.
Yeah, you're right, Jason. This was one of those things that caught Casey kind of off balance there, and he sees the runner going down, so he wants to do that. He probably didn't need to throw it as soon as he wanted. Could have ran it back to Bierling. Bierling does the wise thing, however, though, and got it to Jake Rogers so Jake Rogers could run him back to the proper base, going back towards third base. You don't want to have him going towards home. When Casey does that, that's where the problem comes, and they stay in that rundown so long that now they're able to get runners at second and third, and that's exactly what the White Sox wanted out of that play by getting that runner to go down in Corey Lee and getting hung up between home and third.
Now, do you think, would you try to turn the double play to second?
And I think that's why it caught him kind of off
guard.
Not off guard, but just kind of on a backhand.
And then he sees the runner.
He would have had to kind of spin around to make that, and he saw that runner. But if they would have executed that quickly, they would have, got it. But that was the tough one. It was, can I get 2?
But you get the out and you get the lead runner, because if you don't get the double play, they score a run.
Then they score that extra run.
2 down. Vargas takes high, ball 1. One more quick note about our crew. It's the birthday of our RoboCam operator, Daryl Dupel. So happy birthday to Daryl. Thank you for everything you do as well. There's your camera. Thanks, Daryl. Appreciate it. Happy birthday to you. Daryl and Ben Fiddleman share a birthday. Hi, Daryl. Hi, RoboCamera. Looks like Johnny 5.
That does look like, I was just going to say that.
That's a better version. Our reporter's Johnny 1. This is the beta test edition. Johnny Kane's like, why am I catching that? I don't need that. Doesn't it look like Johnny 5?
That looks exactly like Johnny 5.
You just got it out of Nova Laboratories.
Johnny 5 is alive.
Just outside, 2-2.
I mean, I can see where it could resemble Johnny Kane. But look, see how at the top of it, the hair up a little bit?
2-2 coming. In the air, right field. Perez scrambled back there. He's got it. Oh, this crowd is alive, like Johnny 5.
He had to pitch out of a jam. He was able to do it. Stay within 1.
Our Miller Lite moment. Tigers are in it until they're not. Kerry Carpenter with a grand slam in the bottom of the 5th inning, which actually that ball landed not far from us here in right center field. And my man next to me is still shaking from the excitement. This is Jared from Walled Lake, who's got one heck of a souvenir helmet on here. What's the story behind it, Jared?
So the story behind this helmet is the horns were my great-grandpa's steer. He was up in Ludington. And when my great-uncle came out from Los Angeles, he wanted the horns when the steer got, went to greener pastures. And my great-grandpa sent the horns to my uncle in California in this bloody, gross box. What? He taxidermied them, put them on an Angel helmet because it was my great-grandpa's least favorite team. And when we went out to California, he gave them to us, and we put on a Tigers hat. Been like that for 9 years.
It's unreal. Everybody's got a story, Benetti.
That sentence.
Imagine getting that box in the mail.
That sentence took 9 turns.
Well, it looks good on you, Jared. Appreciate it, man. Thanks a lot. And honestly, a great homage to your great-grandfather as well. So, hey, man, still in practice here today, 9 years later, Jason.
Johnny, that was one of the greatest sentences of my entire life that I've heard.
Yeah, that went in all sorts
That
of
dude's
ways.
awesome.
Greener pastures, bloody box, Angels hat, Tigers hat. I'm like, wow.
Yeah. I love the flavor of this ballpark. I love the intensity in there. Johnny, you're still with us, right?
Yeah, I got you.
What's the energy like around there right now?
It's unreal, man. Honestly, up until that Kerry Carpenter grand slam, like there's still a good energy, and now a lot of people are looking forward, obviously, to the postseason, right? But then all of a sudden now you say, wait a minute. It's been unreal, man. It feels a lot like opening day. I said that the other night, but yesterday just didn't have a great feel because of the rain delay and everything, but knowing that there's still something to play for today, the energy's electric, man, and it's like very sad that it's come to a close to the regular season, but it's special.
Thank you, Johnny. Appreciate it. Tigers trying to complete this comeback. Just one more for the road, as Boz Skaggs used to say, right? Just one more for the road for the Tigers before they head off to either Baltimore or Houston. They're in charge of that. If the Tigers win, they are going to have some crab cakes. If the Tigers lose and Kansas City wins, they're going to Houston.
Just going to have to solve Ellard.
I was going to say this game just took one of those about faces, where it was looking, 5-0, kind of nice and quiet. Then it quickly turned into the atmosphere of a playoff game just by Kerry Carpenter's grand slam. Now everybody grinding out these at-bats. Riley Green working a walk right there to start it.
You know what I love about that, Dan? From day one this year, he said he wanted to be more selective. And so when you install something like that, right, when you're trying to change something, the easiest time to fall back into bad habits is when it quote-unquote doesn't matter. This at-bat, this sequence doesn't matter all that much to Riley Green in the grand scheme of what we've seen the last month, and he's still stuck to his keys.
And that's just because it got real noisy in here and real close, and all of a sudden it just energized everybody, and it's just, ooh, man, I got to just tighten it down a little bit harder, work a little bit harder, grind it out a little bit, and now you're going to see at least 3 innings of this grinding it out, trying to win this game.
You can tell that competitive itch needs itched.
It's just kind of below the surface yesterday, right? A sleepy game. Tigers don't score after the whole celebration, but now you're kind of ramping up into.
Look at the intensity on AJ right there.
Yep.
They're locked.
Fouled away by Wencel Perez.
So there was a fan sent me a note yesterday via the social media, and I thought it said pretty good. They said, we had the best time at the game yesterday. We didn't care about the outcome because we wanted to show our boys that we appreciate everything they've done all season. I thought that was pretty cool. So even though there wasn't a victory yesterday, they had drove in, whatever. They said they just wanted to show the boys, the team, that they appreciate it, the staff.
And you felt it in the ballpark.
You did. Everybody, there was a buzz the whole time. Everybody's happy. They're about to be a lot more happy.
And just, again, they clinched, their playoff berth on Friday, and the crowd was big yesterday, waiting through that 2.5-hour rain delay. It's big again here today. You participated in it. We didn't have it, but the shirt off your back, where you come out afterwards and give it to a fan.
It's popped up foul. Corey Lee, the catcher, and nobody caught it. Lee and Vaughn were over there, and you talk about one more for the road. That's one more for the road for this White Sox season.
Then you talk to so many of the White Sox folks, and they'll say that. They'll say, hey, everything will be cruising right along, and this happens. I got it, you take it.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
You don't want to give Wencel Perez another opportunity. He's been fouling some pitches off. You see Ellard frustrated.
He could have used Henry Ellard there for a moment. Henry probably would have caught it. I'll call that E3. Andrew Vaughn's like, I don't need that. 1-2. Ellard comes back and gets strike 3. Good breaking ball. All right, now a message from FanDuel Sportsbook.
New FanDuel customers can get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. Just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app today.
A.J. Hinch took a day off yesterday, basically, other than 1 or 2 late additions, but no intense pinch hit moments. A.J.'s got the itch again.
Oh, he's ready.
Here's Andy Ibanez for Colt Keith here in the 6th.
Putting them in situations that they're going to see in the postseason. Putting in the exact moment where Andy Ibanez would be called on in a situation like this. Hey, put him right into it. Not that he's not used to it already, but hey, we're one more game away from turning that switch up again.
He tied him up. Ibanez pops it up. First base side, foul territory. Vaughn makes a catch.
They want him to drop that one too.
Sounded like it.
Hear the noise. Buzz.
Tell you what, one of the keys to this postseason will be Andy Ibanez getting back to where he was a couple of weeks ago against left-handed pitching, and A.J. Hinch trying to get him untracked, and you figure he's going to.
He hit the big, well, it was a double with an error, I think, triple out to left center in that clinching game.
Eller just playing catch right now. Strike 1 to Torque.
Yeah, Andy, I was just that breaking ball right there for right-handers. Just, I don't know that you can fault Wenzel for giving up on that breaking ball. That looked like it was in the other batter's box, and boom, came back and caught that outside part of the plate. You just got to tip your hat.
Yeah, that's a lot of movement, and it's got some late break too. Now he's down 0-2 here. You got to battle up. Don't go after that one down and in. You know, a little back foot slider. He'll backdoor the slider. He'll throw the fastball up. He's got a lot of pitches. It's a pretty good arm. He strikes out over a guy an inning for good reason. You see that.
They're setting up inside. Maybe leave it on the inner third.
Check swing 1 and 2.
Going for that little back foot, Johnny. Now, this is where they, you know, sometimes try to go back to the fastball or that slider away. Probably fastball up, then go back to the slider if that doesn't work.
1-2. He got inside on Torque. Eller's been doing a nice job of throwing the ball inside to right-handers so far.
I'm going to say that one was just on that kind of inner third, maybe just a little bit too far in, but you're just waiting for one of those Torque bombs where it's left over that inner third.
2-2 on Torkelson. Kerry Carpenter's grand slam as the Tigers back in this.
Let's see if he goes back to that slider that he got Wenzel on. Starts in that left-handed hitter's batter's box and catches that outside part of the plate.
Spencer Torkelson, left field side, foul.
He tried it, Dan.
He tried it. He tried it.
Yeah, he tried it. Man.
Yeah, look at this. Just he's trying to catch that outside part of the plate. Spencer stayed on it. And was just foul. But just stayed on it, thinking right along, just saying, okay, I know where you're going to come. You're going to come back with that. Maybe that's why Corey Lee was setting up inside, saying back foot it. Don't leave it out there.
I think he'd just go with the heater if he's on the slider. Just run one down through there.
He did.
It looked like he was on that too, though. You know, I mean, at least on time with it, just in order to get that piece of it.
But I'm with you. He kind of left that last slider over the middle, but if he could backdoor that like he did to Wenzel, that would probably be a pitch that if he misses with, it's not going to get as much damage done on.
Fly ball right field. Dominic Fletcher is underneath, the final out of the 6th inning. Tigers trailing by 1.
John Keating with the Comerica Bank out-of-town summary. We're keeping an eye on what the Royals are doing in Atlanta, and there you see a Hunter Renfroe homer, the second homer by the Royals in this game. They lead the Braves as they play in the top of the 7th now, 4-2. Of course, the Tigers are wary of what's happening there because it affects whether they have the ability to nail down the second wild card spot behind the Baltimore Orioles. Tigers need to win and then they handle their own business. If they lose and Kansas City lose, Detroit would still win the second wild card spot. The only thing that would be bad in that scenario would be a Detroit loss and a Kansas City win. We'll keep you posted throughout the rest of the day and on Tigers Live postgame. JB?
Keats, thank you very much. We look forward to that, and we will see how this thing shakes out. It's a base hit for Luis Robert Jr. He is on, and Zach Deloach, the batter.
Tell you what, these White Sox, they're still playing baseball. They might have had a few miscues here and there, but pitching-wise, they haven't really been making too many defensive mistakes, getting hits.
There goes Robert. Pitch is low. Throw down to second base is high, and it's a stolen base for Robert.
Stealing bases now.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm sure AJ would have been really happy if he just stayed out and closed the season on the bench, didn't play the first 2 games, and still is hitting first pitch swinging off of Casey Mize, then not wasting any time to get himself into scoring position for his 23rd stolen base of the year.
How about Kader Montero getting loose, Dan?
Yeah, I think that was probably just the way they had it lined up. Just they wanted Kenta and then Casey and then Kader, and didn't know if they in any specific order, but obviously they want to get a good look at these 3 moving forward. You know, it wasn't too long ago we were talking about Luis Robert Jr. about hitting like 450 on first pitches.
Yep.
And sure enough, he comes out. Casey Mize throws him a pretty good slider, and he was all over it to line it into center field. Casey's been working really hard on that slider coming back, and then even today he's throwing a lot of them.
That was a splitter. There was a jelly legger for Deloach, and he took it well.
That's the panic shutdown. It's like stop, like your body just completely stops. Your legs keep, the momentum just moves them a little bit. Go at him with that heater.
3-2, he went slider.
I mean, Deloach has hit a lot of off-speed pitches in this series. Pulled him down the line, hooking him.
Those inside pitches
yeah.
right there, and I know he's just hitting what 206.
If you got that, if you got to get 97 up in the zone, up in the zone, just blow it by him.
3-2, little piece of the splitter.
But he's swinging the bat pretty good in this series. For just the numbers can be a little bit deceiving, but
I just ain't seen him hit the fastball.
He's swinging it pretty good. I forget what he hit for the home run, but
he hit a changeup, slider.
Yep.
3-2. He missed with a fastball. 2 on for the White Sox here in the 7th, and now a message from the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers and the manager.
Returning AZ Plant lessees can lease a 2024 F-150 XLT 4x4 Super Crew for $339 a month for 24 months. Only at your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers.
So Montero's going to come in. Casey Mize will leave. There are 9 outs to get for the Tigers in regulation today. Casey Mize's day is finished. Kader Montero is in, and he's got 2 on with nobody out. Our wall side windows pitching change. Dan, this is the 3rd pitcher. It's Maeda, Mize, Montero. And as we talk about the future and the postseason roster, remember, it's worth noting again that the postseason roster can change series to series. So you set up based on your opponent in that series.
Yeah, and I just think that it's very interesting that these 3 names have been called upon, because this could easily have been a Hanafi or a Vest or something like that if you're really trying to win this game. So there's obviously something that they want to see in these 3 guys. And Montero has not had a whole lot of success coming out of the bullpen this year, allowing 10 runs on 12 hits in that 9 innings of work. So this is one of those ones, let's see what you can do coming out in a little bit of traffic here in a tough situation. Let's see if you can come in throwing strikes and get somebody out.
Good point.
1-0 coming. It's in for a strike. Interesting symmetry here. The Tigers are trailing 5-4 here. And the only other game that matters for seeding purposes for the Tigers is Atlanta and Kansas City. And right now at the plate for Atlanta is Gio Urshela, who was a big part of this team the first 4 months of this year. And he's found a home in Atlanta with the injury to Austin Riley down there.
And heard that he's been doing quite well for him, too. You know, that's why you pick a guy like that, a veteran, to play good defense and some timely hitting.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Tight slider from Montero.
Yeah, a couple of curveballs to get to this position. Look at that curveball. The first one was even better. That one hung up on the inside. Then he sees it out of the hand, and that's a really good, hard-looking slider to get that first important out right there.
One down, Sosa. Strike called. Jake Rogers has the softest hands in the West.
Don't tell him that. I don't know if a guy from Texas wants to hear that he's got soft hands.
Most skillful hands in the West. Fastest hands in the West.
There you go. Quickest hands in the West.
Quickest hands in the West.
He'd take that. You think that, but you see that swing and miss Montero's inducing on that slider, and he threw a lot of them. So it could be as simple as, hey, come out of the bullpen, see if you can get some swing and miss.
One. Breaks low and outside, 2-1.
All right, now that's okay, far enough. That's kind of what I think Jake is kind of patting. Just okay, that's it. Okay, but doesn't he look calm out there too? I mean, he looks confident in throwing those breaking pitches.
Yeah, he does.
Yes, he looks nice and relaxed and calm, and just by the way it's spinning and coming out of his hand. Now just put him away again, just like you did Vaughn.
Two and two, we'll have to wait. By the way, the crowd today, 41,740. The series is 128,108. It's the most in a 3-game series at Comerica Park since July of 2012.
You think they're fired up?
We'll just let that drop right there.
Just savor it. Check swing. Dan appealed.
Right away, I guess that's that former
He's like,
pitcher.
come on, give it to me. Give it to him.
Peaches looked like Caminero from the Rays series. Everybody was appealing from Tampa Bay.
I was.
You hit him with the slider again? You hit him with the slider after you've seen it that many times, or you try to run the fastball up?
You could go to that knuckle curve. He seems to have confidence in that.
He went fastball, and he missed his spot. I think Raj wanted that up.
Yeah. But it's still encouraging to see that he wants that fastball. It's on the outer part of the plate, so he does hit his spot. Just
keeps it away.
Yep,
kept it away.
Right on that outside part, but he's got confidence in the slider and knuckle curve.
Yeah, he went curveball, and that is fouled away left side.
But it's just good to see that he's got those 3 pitches so far that he can throw for strikes, that he's confident in throwing. And he hasn't even broke out the changeup yet.
Yeah, he's gone all over the place. He's on the 2-seamer here. He's on the 4-seamer, just a couple of fastballs to Lenyn Sosa.
And a couple of knuckle curves in a row, 4 strikes, and you're just saying, man, just one of these, just stay in play, will you? And you just got to keep pumping whatever you think that you can throw for a strike. You do not want to load up the bases here.
Bringing the heat.
3-2. Oh, a little piece of a slider. It's a really good slider, too.
That's 3 in a row. 2 knuckle curves and a slider. This is some kind of an at-bat by Sosa, but look at the downward action on that slider, too. That's just not that flat slider. And they worked on that trying to speed it up so the hitter wouldn't recognize it, disguising it as a fastball.
3-2 on the way. Tie. Sosa waited them out.
It's a good at bat.
Yeah.
You know, and the guy's starting to foul off that much stuff. He's fouling off the knuckle curve, fouled off that slider down and away. You about got to go heater, something different look, and just lost it up.
Yep, that's exactly it.
Bases loaded, 1 out. Brian Ramos, who singled and scored a run in the 2nd. He walked in the 6th. Strike 1.
This is a guy, he hit a changeup out yesterday down in the zone. Almost went down on a knee to get it. That's why Jake's like, start him out with a heater. Get ahead.
Right side, base hit, tracing the chalk toward the corner. 1 is in. Here comes the 2nd run. It's 7-4 White Sox.
Yeah, I think there was catcher interference, but they can take the play.
The result, yep.
The play, yeah. But they called right away. They just went, oh, on that swing. But you're allowed to just continue to play. That's why Ramos.
That's
Ramos
the second time.
stopped. He stopped right away, like, okay, I got first base, and he said, wait a minute, that's a base hit. I got to continue to go.
Was it on Sosa or Ramos?
Ramos.
Yesterday
Ramos,
too?
yesterday in the 4th.
Yeah.
Yep.
What is
Yep.
this? Get your bat out in front of your body, Ramos. Good night.
First pitch, ground ball to third base. That's off of Vierling, and that'll bring home another run. It's 8-4 the White Sox. Matt's not going to be happy on that.
No, he's playing in right here, and this ball just kind of took a funky hop. Had to go down to a knee, just tried to body it up, but it bounced too far away from him. Caught him on the heel, inside of the thigh. Hey, get it out of your system. This is a good time to get it out of your system.
They're going to call that E5.
Just kind of had to settle for the in-between hop at the Adam ball because he was playing in a little bit.
Nothing in 1 from Montero to Fletcher. Rolled to first base, and Torque will throw to second. They will not have a chance at the double play. Lee is out. Fletcher safe at first. Well, you know, it's so interesting, right? We just haven't seen 2 games like this in like a month. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's been a month and a half. And, you know, these aren't the arms that would normally be throwing in these situations as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's trying to get some guys some different looks, trying to decide what do I like out of the bullpen here maybe between Amaya, Kader.
Strike 1 to Amaya.
And you've got 2 guys in particular, well, all 3 actually, but more Casey has just made his, second relief appearance. Kader, his 3rd this year. So that's the thing, seeing, hey, I know you've been starting, but let's see what you can do. Can you make that transition coming out of the bullpen? And Kenta Maeda, same thing. He's been a starter pretty much all his life, put back in the bullpen, and then being a bulk inning guy, coming in fresh, almost like it is a start. So coming in with some traffic. Coming in with some traffic in a different situation than starting a game, and it's different. Let's see how they handle it.
It's been a hallmark of this team all year, is guys in different spots than they're used to handling it. Ball's in the dirt.
That was one of the big things AJ gave credit to the whole squad for, was the buy-in. He's asked a lot of guys to do a lot of different things. Sometimes they get pinch hit for, sometimes they pinch hit for another guy. Sometimes they're an opener, sometimes they're a back-end bullpen guy. But everybody, whatever role he's put them in, they've accepted joyfully and done a good job.
You'd rather play than not.
If the option is buy in or don't play, I think buy in is a pretty good option.
Yeah.
But it's not always like that. You know, there's guys on contract, there's guys that think, no, I won't do that.
Line drive left field. That's down for a base hit. It is 9-4 the White Sox.
Yeah, just a little bit maybe breaking ball happy here. They're kind of on that, but that one just stays right in that center part of the plate and just staying away from that fastball a little bit. And I just, Chris Fetter's really good at delivering a message about, don't shy away from that. You've got a good fastball.
Looks like the Tigers might be headed to Houston. That was not the most likely result when we woke up this morning. 2 things needed to happen, and the Royals are through 7 with a 4-2 lead over Atlanta. And the top of the order coming up for Kansas City. Tigers are down 9-4 here. So if that were the case, the Tigers would be the 6th seed. And the one positive from that is that you would avoid the Yankees until the championship series, who are the 1 seed and have a better record than anybody else in the American League. You also would play an Astros team that, they're the 3rd best division winner. The Tigers are very likely to finish 2 wins shy of the Astros this year. So, there's good and bad with both of them. I don't know that who you want to play, and there's a fastball to start the at-bat.
Yeah, I don't know if that's what Chris Fetter said, but, just in looking at it, man, don't forget, you've got a good sinker. You've got a good 4-seamer.
This one off the glove of Rogers, and runners to 2nd and 3rd. We're seeing a lot of things that we're not typically used to seeing from this Tigers team, and I would venture to say that that'll get fixed.
Yeah, and this is just that slider, and it just, you sometimes wonder just the way he caught it. I know they got the pitch comp and everything, but it's just that stuff that you don't see Jake Rogers miss.
Third base side, foul territory. Vierling will give it to Sweeney. Inning over. White Sox sent up 9 hitters in this 7th inning, and coming up, the Tiger loss 7th inning stretch.
Didn't even think about that.
The Jamie Daniels Foundation is hosting a special event called Hot Stove, rounding the bases with Mike Tirico, beginning at 7:30 a.m. Join us Tuesday, January 14th. Dan Dickerson, Len Casper, myself, and so many more. For more information, please visit JamieDanielsFoundation.org. Got two of the other participants here in the ballpark today. Got Dan Dickerson over there in the radio booth, and Len Casper, noted Michigander, in the White Sox radio booth. That'll be a fun day. There's Len Casper, famed Michigander.
Yeah, he is.
He's probably saying, "Why am I on their show?"
This is how Len talks?
Sure.
I won't tell him you said he talks like that.
Out of here.
The 3-run homer from Paul Konerko.
Out of here.
Here we
He's
go.
not going to be happy with me at all.
No.
How do you get Stoney? Is it just play-by-play? Is that what it is? Or?
What do you mean?
No, Stoney would be perfect for something like that, wouldn't he? Steve Stone.
Well, Michigan, Len is from Michigan. You want to go ask Stoney?
Oh,
Just go in there right now and ask him if he'll show up here on January 14th.
You know how
I thought you were asking me to do a Stoney impression.
No,
Stoney.
hey,
Stoney.
You know how I feel about Stoney. I love
I know
Stoney.
you really. Yeah. We all like Stoney.
Just call him real quick. Hey, Stoney.
Getting him out of Arizona in January would take the jaws of life.
Hey, Stoney.
Yeah.
It's 0 degrees. We just had a foot of snow.
Yeah.
You want to come over?
Hey, come and stay with me.
No.
The answer would be, sorry, I'm rearranging my sock drawer.
Bong.
Oh, there's the impression.
There you go. Yep. See, that's how he feels about my impression of him, too.
Stoney, I'm sorry.
We love you, Stoney. We love you. But Petrie did this. There's ball 1 from Varland. Dan, what are you doing to me? You know I can't say no to an impression.
I
no willpower.
I just like Stoney and just
I
say
do
he's
too.
perfect. I know you do.
We spent 8 years together.
He's Cy Stoney. I just remember when he won the Cy Young, and I just remember very fond of just that year that he had. I mean, it was something. And I was just called up, and just wonderful year.
Amaya to first to take care of Sweeney, and there's out number 1.
See if Jake Rogers, like Dan had mentioned, he's had a couple good swings today. Hit a ball hard to center field, hit a line out to left. in his last at bat. Let's see if he can get one of these four-seamers from old Gus Varlin do some damage.
He's our Wallside Windows pitching change, and he attacked a fastball upstairs.
Getting after it.
Yeah.
He might see a slider after a swing like that.
You think so? You think it'll dissuade?
I mean, Jake's swing, it looks like it's about to do damage whenever he lets it loose.
Third base side, Vargas. 2 down, now a message from MGM Grand Detroit.
Go grand at the destination that elevates every experience. It's a good time for a grand time at MGM Grand Detroit.
Johnny Kane is downstairs. Dan Petrie, Andy Dirks, Jason Benetti along with you, and you, our friends at home, wherever you might be, wherever you're watching the Tigers and getting ready for this postseason chase. Parker Meadows takes a rip at the first pitch, and he flies it to left. We were going to tell you about StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud, but due to time constraints, we move ahead in our action.
Here's our Xfinity high-speed pitch, and it's Kader Montero. That complete game that he threw against the Colorado Rockies, facing just 27 hitters. He had it all working for him that day, and one of those complete games that you don't see too often, and one of those guys that you probably didn't know that had it in him, and something that he won't forget for a long, long time.
He threw himself a Maddox. I mean, so efficient, so effective, and so needed, because the Tigers eventually ended up losing, surprisingly enough, Tarek Skubal's start in that series.
That was before some off days, too. The bullpen was a little strapped.
Yep. 2-0, Robert vaults it out to center. Parker Meadows makes the catch.
Yeah, before that started, it was like, man, if we could get Kader to go 6 innings, it would be huge. Because there were some guys that had pitched back-to-back days out of the bullpen in that series, and he came out and just absolutely lit it up.
Yeah, just look here to see how he handles this inning. Coming out, being in the windup, with no traffic on the bases. He came out with runners at first and second, had to come out and pitch through a jam. Now he's got nobody on.
What did you prefer? Wind up, stretch?
I mean, they do it differently, but I mean, certainly the windup. I always wanted to be in the windup.
1-1, fly ball. Parker again. Just look how he runs after that. It's just so free and easy.
Yeah, because he's an athlete, man.
Yeah, but he just kind of lopes. Some guys run, he just kind of lopes.
Yeah. It's like jogging. It's not quite a jog. It's like a mix between it's jogging. Because a jog is too hard of a word for him.
Will you play as flute for us, Mr. Dirks? Here's Andrew Vaughn. Ball 1.
Lamp.
You just naming things we might need in case of a night game. Andy. 2-0 on Andrew Vaughn. There is Prelander Baroa, who was getting loose a couple of nights ago. He came in to get the final out of the 8th inning. 2-1 on Vaughn.
It's good to get that fastball inside. He threw Vaughn breaking ball, breaking ball, breaking ball, breaking ball, breaking ball to strike him out the first time.
Yeah, that was that good. You thought, hey, he's going to really get out of that inning. But again, just like you described, that's all he was leaning on: breaking ball, breaking ball, breaking ball, and they're seeing a lot of them.
There's another one. It was the Sosa trip to the plate that really affected that 7th inning.
No, that's a good point. You're right. Yeah, that was a big, big battle. He just couldn't quite put him away, and then they started kind of nicking him for some base hits.
2-2. 3-2.
See if he goes back to that slider that he had success on.
He did go to the slider. It's flicked out to left field, and that's a base hit, just dying in the wet grass.
No, this is a good pitch, too. 3-2. He's got confidence in it, and it's out over the plate and down. And you can see the swing, uncomfortable looking swing, but just able to get just enough of the bat on it and flip it out into left field.
To both of your points, though, if you see a really good pitch enough, it loses some of its sparkle.
And the more you see it, the more your eyes adjust. And actually, it starts sparkling more as a hitter, because pretty soon you actually can see it and you know he's going to throw it. And that's why they went fastball in. You got to pitch to both sides of the plate against a big league hitter. They went fastball in, but then they could keep. Now Vaughn's like, okay, you showed it once, now you're going breaking ball, breaking ball. The only way you hit that pitch is if you're setting back a little bit.
That's a knock into right. Lenyn Sosa has had a very nice September for himself. He's got 3 hits today and 2 on for the White Sox with 2 out.
So now he's kind of leaning on a couple breaking ball fastballs, kind of his only arsenal at the moment.
Yeah, I was going to say, and then, you know, he makes a good pitch with the slider. That's base hit. Then he comes back with that sinker. That gets lined into right field. So now he's scratching his head a little bit. Like, all right, now what am I going to do?
He hadn't, you know, he worked that fastball away a little bit, but he had, you know, he spotted like 1 fastball down and away. Other than that, the fastball's kind of been over the plate.
It's a high slider for a strike.
Maybe he just thought that wasn't going to break down enough, but that's a little dangerous right up there.
That can be. That can be, especially against a free swinger.
Popped up. Second base, Andy Ibanez. 9-4, the White Sox lead. See if the Tigers have one more rally here at home.
Time for StatCast 3D, powered by Google Cloud. You're going to see a monumental home run with an apex of 141 feet. Not 100% sure what that means, but it went 425 feet, which is over the wall. There was 3 runners on, including Carey. That counted for 4. That was a 4-run home run.
It's a grand slam is the colloquial term people use for it sometimes. And he will lead off the 8th inning here. Do you ever go into the dugout and say, guys, I hit a 4-run home run?
I did hit a 4-run home run one time, and that's exactly what I said.
Go back to Toledo, they said.
They said, well, thanks for the tryout. Actually, that was a strikeout.
He does his own sound effects, too. 1-0 to Carpenter is upstairs 2-0 against Prelander Baroa. Quick update from Atlanta. Kansas City's up 4-2 in the bottom of the 8th inning, but the Braves have 2 on with 1 out, and John Schreiber is in out of the bullpen after a Jorge Soler walk. That is the Jorge Soler revenge game going on right now, game 162. Two and 1 to Kerry Carpenter. Ball's crushed foul. Time for Chevrolet's strongest player. It is Kerry Carpenter. It's what he's done at home to that right field porch. A 926 OPS, the best here since 2017. He was kind enough earlier this year to wear a microphone during a telecast of a Tigers game. He hit a home run that day, and the sound was brutal for the baseball and wonderful for Tiger fans. 3-2, it was a slider. He pops it up. Back of second base, and eventually it ends up with the shortstop Amaya. There's one down.
Praylander's going to run to that slider. Slidelander. He likes to throw that with the 4-seam mixed in, but he's a 2-pitch guy. Slider's kind of slow too.
No, it's just again, just thinking about Kerry Carpenter's at bat. Just he was on that fastball, he was on a slider, laid off that high fastball that he's been swinging through a little bit. Just misses that one and pops it up. But still, I sit there and say, man, that's going to be a key guy, I think, along with Riley Green certainly and Matt Vierling. But Kerry Carpenter can do some damage and change that scoreboard in a hurry, and he's a guy to really keep that eye on. You want him clicking in the postseason.
Yeah, you see a guy will have 3 home runs in a series.
Yes.
Those kind of players.
That's the one.
Yeah. Delman Youngs, the guys who can just drive the ball.
Well, like he did against Baltimore, too, with the 2 home runs and kind of won that game.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's what Kerry's been doing all year. That's why when he was injured, you think he was injured, then shortly after that, Green was injured. There was a stretch there where the middle of this order was not in the lineup for a decent chunk of games.
Yes.
And when these guys were clicking, and then you added Parker Meadows, who I think is going to be huge in the postseason as well. He's kind of the spark of this team. Winsel Perez. Matt Vierling's just been steady all year. Glue guy, the Elmer's variety.
Ball forward to Matt. There's Parker Meadows. I mean, you talk about 25 games over 500 with Parker Meadows or so with him in the lineup. We talked about it a little bit in the clubhouse, and he's just happy to be around a team that he can contribute to in the way that he wanted to contribute. You guys both know it. When you don't have your A game, when you're not playing the best baseball you know you're capable of, it can be really hard on somebody. And Parker Meadows, when he's 7 for 70 something at the beginning of the year, he wore it.
Yeah.
And now he's just so much more productive, and it's leading to better at bats, and it all just kind of snowballs in a really good way. 1-0 to Riley Green. That's high in the air, left field. Deloach makes the catch. I mean, think about it. September 5th in San Diego. Think about if I told you in April Parker Meadows is going to have this kind of at bat, Dan. We were sitting there when this happened.
And I had that same reaction that Andy had on Carp's Grand Slam today. I just pushed my chair back. I mean, it just came out of nowhere like, wow, what just happened? I mean, they lost the first 2 games and then that happens. Yeah, that was one of those defining moments. But I mean, he's such a great athlete and just, again, freakish. And when he's doing the things that he does on the field, hitting and running and robbing and just everything he does, the opposition has to look and say, how can we beat this guy with guys like that out there? I just think there's an impact that he has on the opposition when you watch him when he's at full speed doing all the things that he can do on a baseball field.
You think about how helpful he will be if the Tigers, as it looks like it's going to happen, if the Tigers play in Houston. There's those Crawford boxes out in left field, and you have to be very cognizant of where you're playing as a left fielder. Just backing plays up. It's a short porch over there. You've played there, Andy.
Yeah.
There are some special dimensions to that ballpark that having Parker Meadows in the lineup would help.
Yeah, it's deep to center. And then you have, with the short porch as a left fielder, you got to choose to either try to make the play or it's going to bounce off the wall, get the ricochet effect. Center fielder has to come over, kind of like the Green Monster.
Strike call.
These guys have played good outfield all year. There's certain elements of the game, I think it's going to come down to how well the Tigers compete in the box consistently up and down the order. And what we've seen since the Carpenter home run, you've seen these guys, they're grinding out at bats.
Like that. Broken bat, single into center field. It's a base hit. 2 on, 2 out.
And they don't concede at bats.
It's going to be Jace Young hitting here.
You see he tries to go away with the heater. Winsel just knocks it up through the middle. And that's putting pressure on the defense, and that's what this Tigers team's done the last month and a half. They've done it via the long ball. They've done it with playing a little small ball, but there's one common thread throughout: constant pressure. Yeah, good at bats. Even if they ended up in a strikeout a lot of times, man, they were seeing 8, 9, 10 pitches, making pitchers work. That wears on a team.
How about Jace Young's first home run here?
I was just thinking that. Ball 1. Look, if Baroa wants to get wild and let the Tigers back into this game, I'm sure this crowd of 41,000 would appreciate it.
And I'm sure they would let him know about it.
"1-0.
I mean, if he hangs a slider, that'd be his chance, I think. And this guy will throw a lot of them, and it's just a matter of time before you throw enough sliders. One of those little cement mixers comes down there at about 80-some mile an hour, looking like a BP fastball.
He's been keeping it kind of away,
Yep.
going straight down if he just get it in a little bit, or kind of over the center.
You got it.
Yeah.
That's when the old brain knows exactly what to do when you see that pitch.
1-1 coming. He went to a fastball that he threw right into the earth.
He doesn't have the command of the fastball. He's spiking it. He's throwing it all over the map.
Maybe that's why Enyel De Los Santos is getting loose.
When Corey Lee got a eyes full of dirt too after that rough game he had on Friday.
He getting worn out back there.
Yes.
3-1.
He wanted to hang the slider there. He just let go of it too early.
He wanted to.
He wanted to. I'm telling you, they start sprinkling that stuff on there. He's shaking his head. I'm about to hang one.
Time call.
Lee's back there trying to play defense. He's like, well, which one won't be thrown at 52 feet? He's got Turfus on his eye black.
3-1. He landed that one. That was the one you're talking about.
Oh, that's a good one. Backed up a little bit. That's the one that backs up into the barrel.
Torque would love a chance.
You got to go back to it too.
Way upstairs. Bases loaded. Carpenter's already hit a slam today.
I mean, Shirley Sizemore is thinking De Los Santos. That's who's warming up.
It is. We've done the one too many dance already today.
They're looking at each other down in the dugout. Who's going to make this? Who's going to make the decision here?
We're going to have the meeting. It was on the calendar. It's Ethan Katz, though,
Yeah.
who's coming out. So,
what do you guys think here? Well, I don't know. What do you think? Don't hang him a slider. If you hang him a slider and it goes over the left field fence, we're in trouble.
that's pretty much it.
I don't know what else you'd say. Try to get ahead with the fastball. Think you can throw it for a strike? I like orange juice for breakfast. Let's go.
This is a big party. It's a big party for the other 161 games of the year right now. That's what this is.
Yeah, without question. I think, too, I mean, I don't know if the White Sox just aren't getting guys up soon enough, because they're taking their sweet time out there with these mound visits.
Ethan Katz is letting them know, too, I think, right now.
Yeah, he's giving it to Marvin Hudson.
What's he got to give it to him about? Is he mad at balls and strikes, you think?
No, I don't think so. I think he's just talking about just the time of that visit.
Yeah.
Have you seen us? We've lost a bunch of games. Just give us a second.
Yeah, we got to
Yikes.
pause for station identification.
Right.
All right, here we go.
Torque slam.
That would be ideal.
First pitch. No, sir.
I mean, I would take a Torque hit, go to the big part of the field. If he throws that slider away, Torque can stay on it. He can hit that ball to left center, trying to hit it to right center. And if he throws the fastball, you still got a chance to get a knock.
1-0. Nope, 2-0.
Oh, boy. The
Oh, boy.
anticipation is killing me here. Is he going to hang the slider, or is he going to groove the fastball?
Will he throw him a strike?
Oh, man.
Nope, 3-0.
Look at Torque. I mean, he just stood there just.
He's going to take here.
I mean, he had no,
He got a 5-run ball game, get the next guy the dish.
It's Trey Sweeney next. Here comes the crowd. 3-0. Strike. Stuffed on the inside corner, 3-1. It took every bit of the strike zone to get a strike there.
Yeah, and you'd imagine his best pitch is his slider. So I would imagine he's going to want to run to that if he thinks he can throw it for a strike. If not, Lee might call a fastball, only trying to throw a strike.
Fastball, strike 2.
Torp is setting slider.
Yeah.
He's
sure
100% setting slider
he
there.
Sure was.
Now you just balance it up.
And he'll get one here, I think.
You think so?
I think I do.
Yeah.
I mean, he's thrown 2 fastballs for strikes, but I think he's going to go to the slider.
Missed outside, ball 4. It's a bases loaded walk. It's 9-5. And what a way for Trey Sweeney to make a living here as the tying run against a new pitcher. This is just a fun day at the ballpark no matter what the score, but it could get a little bit more
interesting.
Yeah. That after this.
It's like playing chess, one move too late.
Four-run game, bottom of the 8th inning. Couple swings away from this being a much more interesting deal on this season finale of Tigers baseball in the regular season. And Trey Sweeney has 3 home runs against right-handed pitchers, but a better OPS against lefties. So let's see what he does against Enyel De Los Santos here in the 8th.
Enyel is just a stock righty. He's 95 with a slider. This is what lefties make their living on. You see this guy on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday coming up through the system. 2-pitch guy. Just make sure you get one out over the plate that you can handle and get a base knock. They'll throw a changeup once in the blue moon, but I wouldn't worry about that unless I got late in the count, fouled a bunch of pitches off.
Bases loaded, 4-run game. Strike 1. Perez, Young, and Torkelson the runners. Sweeney, little tapper back to the mound. De Los Santos ends the inning. We'll go to the 9th. Tigers trailing by 4.
Drive into 2025 by becoming a Tigers season ticket holder. Early access to postseason tickets, best seats at the best prices, ticket flexibility, and exclusive benefits. Secure your seats and join the 1901 Society today at tigers.com/membership.
Join us next year. You got through all that. That was like 5 times your typical word limit.
My voice kind of changed there at the end, but it's okay.
Well, you know,
Inflection.
Watched a lot of Brady Bunch growing up. There was that one episode. In the air center field, Meadows is underneath, and we will spin the wheel one more time. America's fastest growing sensation. Tiger of the day, who is it today? Who is it? First overall pick in 1970. Drafted as a catcher, played mainly first base.
Greenberg.
11 MLB seasons with 4 teams. 1982 and 83 with the Tigers. Opened a sporting goods store in the Atlanta suburbs after retirement.
Mike Ivy?
Hank Greenberg.
It's way too late for it.
Oh.
What'd you say, Dan?
I said Mike Ivy.
Go, Dan. I think you might have had it. How do you... What is your deal, man?
What?
You
Where
win
do you
all of
come
our
from?
parlor games. You got that silly gnome for pick the stick.
Oh, I didn't see
You got
the
Mike
date.
Ivy.
Well, I played with him. I should know it. I
Yeah.
mean,
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
There you go.
I did.
I didn't see the dates.
So-
1982. There you go.
Yeah, I should. See, if there's enough. But I didn't know he was the first overall pick. That's pretty good.
There you go.
Yeah.
On the ground, it's Sweeney at shortstop. And a stretch from Torque. Keep that arm out of the way. 2 down. There's some footage of Mike Ivy.
Yeah, he had that really good career going for him, and got off to that really good start, and then he got the thing throwing.
Yeah.
The yips.
Yep, and he was a catcher and had a difficult time throwing it back to the pitcher, and then first base also.
He just passed July of last year.
Yeah, yep.
0-1 to Amaya.
Yeah, it got to be kind of sad. You play first base, and as a pitcher, you'd try to pick somebody off over at first base, and you had to walk over to first base to get the ball back.
Really?
He could not. Yeah, he could not throw it back. Yeah.
It's just so hard. The Chuck Knobloch, Rick Ankiel.
Was he like that to the bases?
Steve Sachs.
Sachs.
He was like that to the bases, even in the game, or just the throwback?
No, it was just that throwback. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. Yeah, because they put him at first base, and they wouldn't DH him, strictly DH him, so they knew he could throw. But it was just that, just that under pressure where everybody's watching it, I guess, and not, reactionary.
Benetti, you ever get the yips?
Every time I work with you. It's fouled away. Still 2-2. You?
Only when I work with Dan.
Okay. Dan?
I'm passing the buck.
Yeah, that's
it.
Well, I was
Dan,
just going to say, Dan, which Dan?
Well, that's a good point.
Go Dan.
I will not mention either one. You'll have to guess.
Strike 3. Amaya's not thrilled. 3 outs to play with, 4 runs got to get. We'll see what the Tigers do in the final regular season.
Hey, Tigers fans, subscribe for your chance to access 2024 postseason tickets early. Subscribe now by texting Tigers to 39844 or by visiting tigers.com/postseason. And there will be a postseason ahead. John Keating at the Feiger Law Desk getting ready for Tigers Live postgame. We're looking forward to who the Tigers will meet on Tuesday, whether it be in the afternoon or in the evening. We'll update that story when we come your way. We'll get post-game reaction to this one. Some fans will receive the shirts off the players back, and Johnny Kane will visit with them immediately after the conclusion of this one. But it's been a great ride, and happy to have been with Jason Benetti all season long. JB?
Keats, thank you so much for your hospitality and your kindness and your welcome into this telecast that you are such a huge part of and have been for so many years. So sincerely, thank you, sir. 1 ball, 1 strike on Zach McKinstry, who will pinch hit for Jake Rogers against Enyel De Los Santos, whose breaking ball banks in for a strike. The Braves are trying to mount a rally in the 9th inning. They have the tying run at the plate. They have a runner at first with 1 out. Keats will update you on when that goes final and what the game times are and where the Tigers are going and all that. You can't step off. The catcher's got to call time. Corey Lee just saved him an automatic ball there. And at some point in a couple years, this will permeate all the catchers, all the pitchers, I should say. But now, are they going to say time was called or not? Are they going to give him the pitch timer violation?
Yeah. Marvin Hudson looked right over into the dugout because I think the Tiger dugout really gave it to him.
He didn't give time. That should be a ball.
That should be a ball. 100%.
Now you can do that with a runner on. You can't do that with nobody on.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's incumbent upon the catcher to use one of his visits if he wants to not have the automatic ball happen. Two balls, 2 strikes. McKinstry high in the air, right center field. That ball's drilled a long way to the warning track, and oh my goodness. Fletcher got over there all the way in that deep, cavernous alley to make the catch. What a play.
I mean, that's one of the best catches I've seen in a long time. Over the shoulder.
Now, if it...
I mean, it was secured, though, I think, before that.
Yeah, he's got to have secured it before it hits the wall. If it did, in fact, hit the wall. Watch this view. McKinstry's standing at third right now. Let's see. If that hits the wall, it waves off any possible catch. Now, the Tigers are going to challenge here.
Yeah. Over the shoulder, bobble, 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 up against the wall, and he's guilty. Do you see his face?
You think he reached into the cookie jar?
Look at his face. That was the face of guilt. I didn't catch it. Did you see? They didn't see it. Throw it in quick.
Did you see Zach McKinstry too, though? I mean, he did not give up. Even when everybody went, ooh, he caught it. He was sprinting around second base going to third. Like, I don't care. I'm going to keep on running.
I mean, still a great effort. See right there?
Yep.
You can tell in his eyes.
We think that hit the wall. Yeah?
Who took the cookie? It wasn't me.
Who, me? Couldn't be.
No, it looked like it's a tough angle, though, you know, that's the only problem. But right there, yeah.
He said, oh, yeah, it's a hit.
It's a hit.
Said Zach.
Yeah. Well, I think Zach would be lobbying for a hit regardless of the circumstance. But he's got, I think, a pretty decent case here.
Oh, I do. Boom.
I mean, what an effort, though, by Fletcher. That's a long run. Look at all those screens in there.
Yeah, that's the Instant Replay Center in New York. You want to get a tour of that?
Did somebody alert NASA? Is that NASA?
Okay. It's a couple nights late, you clown. It's called an out on the field.
What did he say? Did he say it hit the wall? It looked like just trying to read his lips.
Well, he's trying to not lie now. He's in a weird position because he didn't catch it. He knows he didn't, but he's got a lobby
and
that he
comes
did.
Up cradling it, you know. Like,
right there.
Oh, yeah, I got it. Oh, cradling it. Yep,
yeah,
I got it.
While this has happened, Kansas City beat Atlanta. So if the Tigers lose, they're going to Houston. If the Tigers win and a comeback, they're going to Baltimore.
Got it. See, he's smiling. He's like, see, I probably didn't get away with it, did I?
After review, the call on the field stands. The runner's out. Got a catch.
That's a really bad call.
Boom.
Well, you got to turn your mic off, Marvin.
Did he just run AJ?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Come on, you can't.
Well, it's an auto ejection when you come out to argue a replay.
All right.
You can't miss that.
That's bad. His fans are going to let him have it.
Like we have a shot of the ball hitting the wall.
Is that the first time AJ's got it?
They didn't see it, though. If it stands, right?
Yeah, it's.
So they didn't see.
The call on the field stands. The runner's out. Got a catch.
He said, you can't come out here.
You can't, and it's true.
Yeah. But AJ, I mean, in that moment, he said, that's fine. You can throw me out, but I got to let you know that that's terrible.
We have to get that right, is what A.J. Hinch said. And I'm with him. If we're going to have instant replay, that call has to be right. If that's the postseason, it's not good.
No.
Because it leads to a lot of conversation that's about anything other than baseball. And baseball is better off when the conversation isn't about instant replay and it's about stories like the Tigers. Congrats, George. You get 2 outs worth of managerial experience.
Is that the first time AJ got thrown out this year?
Yes. And you know what? His team wants vengeance.
Here they come.
He waited till 162 and 7/8.
And again, they don't make it easy, do they? You know, Zach McKinstry comes up and hits one off the wall to the wall. Parker Meadows lines one right up the middle here. Just they're not going to give up. This is that Tiger team that we've seen that last couple of months. Just they're playing 27 outs. Well, they've been doing that all season. Never feeling like they're out of it.
Gary Carpenter takes a rip, strike one.
That wasn't just a little, I'm going to play pepper swing right there. That one had some anger in it. That one was like, I'm trying to hit another one right here.
That's the red eye swing.
Oh,
He's
man.
mad.
Oh, 1. Left side, right into Vargas. And that is how the regular season ends for the Tigers. The umpires will be booed off the field, and some of it will ring to New York. But this 162 adventure comes to a close with the Tigers in the playoffs. 86 and 76. The Tigers are going to Houston for the wild card round. And it is a return bout with a team that played the Tigers tough. earlier this year, and a return bout for A.J. Hinch with his former team. But overall, gentlemen, as the Tigers go into the postseason, I just want to say, and we've talked about our crew and how wonderful this season has been, but you gentlemen and everybody who's been in the booth, it has been truly my absolute pleasure to share this season with you. To everybody at home, for your warm welcome and your warm embrace. To me, somebody who's not from here but has very quickly learned to love what this city stands for, what this team stands for, what you all stand for in Tigers history. As sincere of a thank you that I can send through this screen to you on your couch. Thank you so very much. And no pictures, please.
Yeah.
But a thank you to the Tigers for this ride that we've all gotten to go on, because it has been truly special, and it's been one of the joys, I think, of all of our lives to watch this happen. So thank you both for being such good friends and partners, and thanks to the Tigers for what they've brought us all on.
Just as a former player, you just have to feel so lucky to just be able to sit through this and sit in here with you guys, and just it brings you back to your playing days. And that's why I just feel so lucky each and every day that I sit here and get to watch a baseball game.
Yeah, I always have a little itch, a baseball itch that needs scratched, and it's been a long time since I've got a good scratch on that itch. This right here has done it for me personally, and to do it with you guys, to do it with this crew, to do it with the city, the way the team played. I mean, I feel like I'm a proud papa now. I'm getting older, watching these young guys, play the way they did. I mean, it's been one of the most wonderful month and a half time frames, and just this year in general. Of my life, so I appreciate it.
And it's not over, because I can't wait for Tuesday.
Oh, you guys.
Come here.
This has been a pleasure.
We hugged this morning.
We did. Keats is sitting there like, I'm waiting for this.
No,
it's
actually,
time for Tigers Live. What do you got? One more thing?
Yeah, one more. Wait, Keats.
It was Dirk's socks last night. It's
Andy's got one more.
Wait, Keats.
What do we got?
No, I lost my train of thought. Go ahead.
Of course you did. Bye.
The train is off the tracks.
Enjoy the playoffs. Keats, take it away.
All right, JB. Terrific year. All you guys in the booth. We were working 9 to 5, as it turns out, on the last day of the season. Tigers lost the last two, but we'll remember this one for a while. This was Friday night as they won their way into the postseason for the first time in 10 years. We'll look back upon not just today, but on this rather memorable 2024 season during Tigers Live, which is coming up